Alrighty, well, we were almost aborted at birth there. Guys got kicked out of YouTube, so at least we're on. We're live. We're here. Yay! Hooray!
Dr. James brought us back.
Yeah, that's right. And
Shoved us back into the show.
Thank God they're both there. Two producers better than one. That's what I always say. So I hope you're off to a good start for the weekend, which is upon us. It was Ben's birthday this week. Happy birthday for this week, Ben. Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Do anything?
Well, it was a Tuesday, so did a bit of work. Went to gym.
Oh, nice.
Had a terrible slice of cake.
Okay.
Nothing really great because
Why terrible? Because if you're going to eat cake, it can't be terrible.
I know, but like it's one of those things. I went grocery shopping because I had to go buy Luna food or whatever, and then I just saw a slice of cake. But you don't buy cake from Checkers.
No, it's a bad idea.
And it was a lovely idea because it was like an Oreo cake, but it was just basically whipped cream and sadness.
Well, do you remember when we did birthdays for years? Everybody else would get the cake. Someone else would organize it. Someone more, I don't know, fastidious about these things. Someone more interested in cake, frankly, than I am. And one year they deputized me to get the cake for somebody's birthday, and I got it, and it was sour. It was rancid. They'd used, I don't know, cream that was off for something. Yeah. And so I was removed from cake duty. So just as well, I didn't have anything to do with this disappointing cake.
And then it made me reflect on cake. And I just thought, like,
you give up on the whole genre.
Just not really that into it anymore. Like, I like a good carrot cake, time and place. Yeah.
Sure. Absolutely.
No, but like birthdays during the week, what can you do?
Yeah.
But today, going to Sun City to go watch the golf. Obviously, the Nedbank Challenge is on.
I still call it the $1 million.
Of course you do.
Yeah.
Like those crusty old geezers from the 80s. It hasn't been the $1 million since the 90s.
Please.
I've got a friend in Cape Town.
It hit its peak at the time of Nick Price and Fulton Allen.
Bollocks. It just keeps going. I've got a friend in Cape Town who's younger than me. He calls the $1 million. It's like,
really?
Stop it. It's not the $1 million.
See,
because even now, Gareth, if you win $1 million, that's like fifth in like competitions nowadays.
Yeah, all right. Well, it used to be a big thing. And there was even a song.
Look, if Dale Hayes calls it the Nedbank Challenge,
then I can.
Then you have to move on.
All right.
If there was ever a guy to hold on to nostalgia, it's Dale.
So Bitcoin But's moaning early in the morning. He says, can we please host another G something? Traffic lights are out, rubbish laying everywhere. What a fuck. So he obviously is hankering for another G20. I'll tell you what, if the G20 did nothing else and it just made Joburg a bit more livable for at least a few days, that's a nice bonus for the people of the hardest working city in Africa.
That's all I took out of it.
Yeah. So, you know what? You might be right. Maybe we get to host something else.
Can we make our own G?
Just make it up. Yeah, no, because no one cares.
Gauteng starts with a G, so we can just call it G something.
The Gauteng 20.
Just call it.
We just get a couple of local politicians to meet at the convention center.
We get Adolf Hitler from Namibia to pull in.
Have you seen the guy called Adolf Hitler in Namibia? Did he win? I think he might have won. Anyway, I mean that's a really exciting name to give your kid. I thought it had completely fallen off the edge in terms of Adolf is not a popular name since 1945, but seemingly in Namibia they still have a thing for it.
I mean, like Mugabe grew his moustache. Okay, cool.
Yeah, the Hitler moustache.
But if your parents give you that name, when you get into professional life, you kind of maybe drop it.
Yes.
Just optics.
Common Sense says, am I not too old for that haircut? Well, I'm very proud of this because I went to the Algerian barber up the road.
It's because you have no loyalty with hair.
I have none. 120 rand. I usually go to the Nigerian woman, Fatima.
Yeah.
Who is terrific. She knows. I never have to make an appointment. I arrive 5 to 10 minutes max. And I just go.
You give her the 2-finger salute.
And then she's like, you're in. And then they always say at Fatima's place, they always say, can we get you a cup of coffee or tea? And I'm always like, no, who would want that while they're cutting their hair? Because the hair will fall in. You don't want hair in your drink.
It's a nice idea, but again, I used to go to these Turkish people.
Yes.
But it was just a bit of a drive, so I stopped. But they were adamant that I would have their mud coffee. Some days I did, some days I didn't.
No, the Algerians don't speak at all, which is also
the best.
Sometimes that's a relief. I know for women especially, it's very important to have a conversation with your hairdresser. It gets you in.
It's half the reason you go.
It's maybe more than half. And for guys, I'm very happy to not have a single word spoken to me. I basically gesture So I don't know if he understood the instruction or not, but he got out the clippers and went to town. And by the end of it, I thought, you know what? I will not have to worry about my hair for another month.
120 rand, Gareth.
120 rand. What a spectacular win.
And how far do you have to drive for this? Because you've got to factor it in, right?
Oh, no, please. This is within walking distance of where I live.
Even better.
It's fantastic. So that was a quick and interesting
Is it by the Heel Fat Butchery?
It's just up the road from that, yeah. The Heel Fat Butchery, that's got some good stuff, too.
I know, so when I came to your house a while back, I had to go buy biltong.
Yeah, and
there it
found
was,
there.
Heel Fat.
Yeah. It's 2 oaks and a hut.
It's very basic.
It's 2 big Dutchmen in a hut. You know, I do love this about South Africa, and I'm not a big fan of the diversity is our strength motto, because I don't think it is unless you have common values. Like, diversity is great if everyone's working towards the same goal.
Sure. And everyone's making an effort.
But diversity without a goal is kind of chaotic and doesn't lead to anything positive being achieved. However, I do love the fact that there's an Algerian barber. I mean, the place is very basic, hey? And they've got Algerian music playing in the background. I didn't even know you could get Algerian music.
Of course.
And then there's the Heel Fat Butchery down the road of the 2 oaks in a hut. They probably slach the cow in the field behind them.
But
I
this
don't
is
know.
the thing here, and they are what they are. Like, when you go to any of those places and they try too hard, the service is going to go downhill, and you pay extra money. That Heel Fat Butchery, it's basic, and it's not for the squeamish.
No.
But fuck, all they're doing is they're giving you meat.
But
they
it's
care
good.
about.
It's
Yeah,
good
it's
quality stuff. They do one thing properly. You know, you only have to do one thing properly. Just do it really well, and then you will win. And clearly, I mean, I hope that the Heel Fat Butchery doesn't become like Tash's and start franchises all over the world.
But aren't there like 4 or 5 of them in and around Pretoria?
I don't know if this has got
No, there's more than one
subsidiary business.
Because I told Marv about it.
Oh yeah, and he knew.
And then Marv's like, "Which one did you go to?"
Oh.
It's like, what is this? Fucking
There are a whole
muchachos.
lot. That's great. Okay, yeah, all right. Well, maybe there are. Maybe I've just been ignorant of this fact. Maybe it's a massive, thriving, multi-million rand operation. You never know.
When you often see really rich people in this world, big houses, all those kind of things, you think, I don't know, either they're crooks or old money, whatever. No, they're doing things. Algerian barber's probably got 20 stores as well.
Probably. I do have to say that there was that clip that was sent out a while ago, and it's been circulating ever since, of someone on a podcast saying that the really rich people have unglamorous jobs. If you want to be in the entertainment business, you want to be an actor, you want to be an influencer. I mean, you're not, with the exception of the very, very rare people at the top, you're not going to be a multi-billionaire. But if you have a factory that makes plastic containers,
engine components,
something really unglamorous,
irrigation units,
you make pipes for plumbing.
Yeah.
Okay, those guys, you got a chance of making seriously good money because
you have machines that service machines.
Right, and you focus on that one thing, and you just deliver a quality product to thousands of people. You have lots of customers. Because let's be honest, the influencer thing is not. I mean, it's just. I think it's dying. I mean,
no, it is. But like a lot of that stuff,
it's got to die.
It's lifestyle and creative orientated. So you can't put creative people in like manual labor situations.
You could, but it'll not work out well for them.
Yeah, and they'll be like 7 cups of coffee and a line of cocaine before lunch.
Hermine says, as a girl, she says, I will pay double for the hairdresser not to talk to me. I just wish they would hurry the fuck up. Well, I don't know. Maybe if you've got this huge, enormous, like bouffant 1980s Afrikaans hairstyle, Hermine, for all we know. You know, and that being the case, then they've got to take their time. I've got a picture. I'm going to send this to you, James, what I think Hermine looks like when she's having her hair done like that, all right? And then you can tell me if Hermine, you can tell me if you think this is roughly right. But when you say that it takes so long, then I'm just imagining a certain kind of hairstyle, which I'll show you in a second. Speaking of certain kinds of things I found on the internet, I saw this Zimbabwean influencer the other day. I don't know if he's an influencer, but he's this guy who clearly does these videos. He's Zimbabwean, but he's mocking Zimbabweans.
Oh, that dude.
and I've been following him for a while. But he plays the song.
I love this guy's videos.
Which now every single time I hear from someone even says the word Zimbabwe, and this song starts playing in my head. And it is, I warn you in advance, this is such a catchy song that you're going to find yourself singing it all day. It's going to be stuck in your head until you know the words. You're going to listen to it more than once. It's going to be a problem for you on this Friday, but it's worth doing. Have you got the song? Go for that quickly while we find this picture.
I don't blame people for disappointing you. I blame yourself for trusting them. I don't blame people for disappointing you. I blame yourself for trusting them. Trust nobody, suspect everybody. Don't tell people about your vision.
It's so good. And we were walking around the office and I was playing it for everybody on Wednesday, I think. Where was it? Tuesday or Wednesday? And then Nomcebo and Senna, they both knew the words. They knew the song. They're going to do their own version. Have they done it yet?
Trust nobody, suspect everybody.
Yeah, trust nobody, suspect everybody. Don't tell people about your vision. It's fantastic. I love it. I think it's absolutely great. Good morning, my favorites. This is from Elmarie. She says, happy birthday, Ben. Enjoy the golf. Nice weekend.
Thank you.
Yeah, there we go. Look at Siv, says Bitcoin Bot. Siv Ngesi. The guy is making pads left and right now, moving to adult diapers. Well, he's a busy man. We've got to get him back on the show at some point. He messages me every now and then whenever there's some noise. I didn't realize, but a week ago or 2 weeks ago, I was trending on social media again. But because I'm not on the internet, social media-wise, I don't see a lot of this stuff.
Was it something show-related?
I don't know.
Or?
I have no idea.
Has that child of yours in Mpumalanga finally reached age? Graduated?
Yeah, I was meant to go to the graduation. Slippery Pickle says, we know you pay for the Real Network through your OnlyFans page. It might not be glamorous, but you have to do what you got to do. Yeah, that would not make any money. I'm very realistic about that. Then we've got someone here saying, has anyone watched the Diddy documentary on Netflix? 50 Cent is a savage. Well, 50 Cent's been very outspoken about how he feels about P. Diddy. And good. I think that's great. I don't know what's happened. The P. Diddy thing seems to have gone
Is he in jail
on the
currently?
afterburner. Yeah, he's in jail.
Okay.
He's in jail, but...
Well, he'll be in a correctional facility. He's not really
But isn't it
jailing.
amazing how quickly things are no longer stories? I mean, if you can think back far enough to the OJ trial, that was like, it felt like a year of non-stop OJ stuff. Even the Oscar Pistorius trial here in South Africa, it was a whole year that was all we were talking about. Now, you got P. Diddy, and it's like they have to rub their eyes and scratch their heads and go, what happened there again? It feels like it moves so quickly.
I think it's an indication of just how much content we consume.
Yeah, we do.
Because
too much of it.
Even at times of like the Oscar, to go back to Oscar, okay, because that was the last major trial. We weren't watching AI reels back then. We weren't watching as much short form content as we were now.
No. Show them the picture of what I think Carmine looks like with her huge hairstyle and how I think she battles at the hairdresser. Carmine, if that's anything like you, then I have a very good sense of... All right, very good. That's delightful. Don't forget, we got a new episode of Blind History coming out today, and that's season 8, and we're on episode 4 already. So shit's happening, man. Getting real. So apparently South Africa will take a break from the G20 after the US ban. So apparently, there's talk about covering spinning, trying to spin your way out of this. South Africa says it will take a break from the G20 in 2026 after the United States is now holding the presidency, barred Pretoria from participating. The U.S. has escalated criticism of South Africa's government, with Secretary of State Marco Rubio repeating claims of discrimination against white Afrikaners. By the way, that's only one of the 4 things. I remembered what the other things were. Property rights, American businesses not needing BEE, starting a special investigation into the killing of white farmers, which we should do anyway because they're the bread basket of our country. They're the people who produce the food. We should be extra interested in keeping them alive. And the final one was that the US has said, why don't you get guys to stop singing Kill the whatever minority group? And if it happens to be a minority group that you disagree with, that's still not a good thing. You don't want anyone going kill the something. So Kill the Farmer is not an appropriate thing for anyone to be singing. I don't think that's unreasonable.
Not really.
But people they've hooked onto this idea that there's a white genocide because it makes it sound like the other side has no point to make, and they do. Presidential spokesperson Vincent Mgwenya said that South Africa will wait until the G20 moves to Britain in 2027 because, of course, they're a soft target and Britain will know, sure, come in, no problem. They've got a prime minister they don't want to hold on to, but they'll let anyone in. Immigrants, people on boats, people from South Africa, whatever. That's why I've got so many friends who live in the UK now.
So obviously with journalism being at the peak that it is, I walked past the newspaper stand who still exists.
They're actually newspapers.
And there was a headline I shit you not, I should have taken a photo of it. The headline was, Cyril claps back.
Yeah, so...
As in, like, Cyril's doing something noble here.
So I like the way they try to slip in, oh no, we'll just take a break from the G20.
No, because he was all big balls the last few days, and now all of a sudden take a break.
But Ben, all we've heard for the last 6 months is that the G20 is the most important thing.
Most important thing.
And it is an enormous big deal. And the government has made every effort to show that being a part of the G20 is a massive thing to them. And now suddenly we'll just take a break.
It's defined Cyril's presidency being the host of the G20.
Correct. I mean, it's certainly been the only highlight for him this year. But
I mean, that's where he got hashtag flowers from.
If you tell me something is the most important thing in the world to you for half of a year, and then you tell me you're just going to take a break from it, I'm like, sounds to me like you're smarting a little. That's what you are. You're smarting like a kid who gets their backside whipped. And then you're like, well, I didn't want the sweet anyway. Even though that sweet is all you've been hankering for. So I just read what people do. Don't believe what they say.
But it's just all this nonsense. Again, it comes back to honesty. It's like people go, oh, we don't need the US. No, sweethearts, you really, really do, unfortunately.
Yeah, you do.
And what it always boils down to is that everyone's got a boss. And when you're this insignificant in the greater scheme of this world, you'll forget, like, we're in the arse end of nowhere here. It's a small country. We need to play nice. We need to be smarter.
And it's important to be nice to the right friends. And the US is a good friend to have.
Even if it's just strategic.
Well, we know they want to do business with us. This is the funny thing, is they've said time after time, and the US are... The US government is certainly interested in doing business with South Africa. They want to have a closer trading relationship with us. There are a lot of US companies in here already. And it would be stupid. Why would you turn that away? That would be like you saying, I don't feel like having this customer or this client in my shop. They're going to buy half my stock, but I don't want them. You're cutting off your nose to spite your face. So it's a stupid position.
So the other way of looking at it is that if people ask you to make changes, but you won't make those changes because it fundamentally defines you, I can see that's a point. Like if you said to me, Ben, I want you to work here full time, but you're never going to do sport ever again. I'll be like, you know what, that's not a good fit for me because this is what I do. Yeah. So basically, is Cyril saying that farm killings, BE, not putting any effort into these things is their identity?
Yeah, he says that's more.
Is that what he's saying? Is that more important?
He clearly thinks that's more important than having a good trading relationship with the US. Even though in his life, Cyril has always chased money. Money has been the number one guide for him. Sure. So again, look at what people do, and then look at what they say, and figure out who they really are from what they do, not what they say. We'll get to sport in a moment. Thanks for the reminder. I do want to also quickly refer to this. I'm very upset. A friend of mine had a birthday this week, and I went on to WhatsApp to wish him a happy birthday. Now, he doesn't live in the country anymore. He lives somewhere else. And I'm not going to be too specific about him because I don't want him to know that I'm talking about him in this case. Because who knows, he might watch the show, listen to the show. His profile picture, right? He's got a picture of him and his wife and his 2 kids.
Okay.
Now, I wouldn't say he's an 8 out of 10. I'd say he's maybe 6.5. But a clever guy. He's got a good sense of humor. He's got a good job. Brings home the bacon. He can provide for his family. he has the ugliest wife I've ever seen in my life. She is a battle mastodon.
Really?
She's enormous. She's got warts. She has a receding hairline. Very gummy. Very gummy. Little teeth, a lot of gums. It's quite something. And I didn't realize. I mean, suppose every time, again, when you get on social media and he posts pictures, they must love each other very much, which is amazing. I mean, you see people like this sometimes in the shop.
They produce children.
And the kids look fine. Who knows? They might turn out more like mom or more like dad. But a very frighteningly ugly woman. The first time I met her, and I'd forgotten, that's why I was so shocked by the profile picture. First time I met her was probably, a good 15 or so years ago. And I actually went, when I saw her for the first time. Because, and by the way, it goes both ways, right? So sometimes you get the beautiful girl or the reasonably good-looking girl who marries the very, very ugly man. But then obviously he has money.
Yeah.
Or he's super smart. Like really one of the cleverest people. I looked at this picture. I thought to myself, wow. They've been happily married for more than a decade. I don't know. This is seriously. You talk about where you need respect for people. I respect that. He made his bed. He's going to lie in it.
I know where you're coming from with this, and we're not part of that sort of world because we are a bit maybe different socially. But commitment's a beautiful thing. But it's, I mean, it must be. I don't know what else I can really add to that.
I do admire. I admire the fact that they are happily married, that they have these kids, that they seem to be devoted to each other.
Which must be everything then, which
I
is great.
think it's great. I just realized maybe the problem isn't anything to do with them. It's all to do with me.
Yeah,
maybe the problem is I am such a superficial person that if I woke up every morning next to her and I would get the fright of my life every morning. I promise you, she's not just she's a moderately ugly human being, she is genuinely like a wild boar.
Wow, I want to see this picture now.
No, I could never show the picture, but Jesus, good luck. And happy birthday, by the way. She's something else. All right. Is it the lighting in the studio? My eyes, or has Gareth now become a silver fox from the sides? No, it's just because when the Algerian barber picked up his machine, I don't think the communication was that good. And he went down to like a 2. And a
little bit shorter than usual.
Yeah, I got to keep it at 3, otherwise it looks transparent and I look a bit like a Nazi. So I've got to be careful.
Yeah, it is, because you are pure blonde.
Oh yeah, no. So it's not silver; it's blonde. But I'll let you know as soon as I find the first grey ball hairs. This will be the place to tell you.
Also, you do have a grey wall behind you.
Yeah, that doesn't help.
Doesn't really help.
No, it doesn't help.
That's reflecting light.
Anyway, look, if he went overboard, I'm okay with it.
A week.
Yeah, and I'm okay with it. I'm not vain enough to give a shit about my hair. I really don't.
Yeah.
Maybe love is completely blind, says Michelle. It might be, hey. It might actually be. I don't know that many people where there's such an obvious discrepancy in looks. But maybe it's pure, true, unadulterated love.
Which is, again, I genuinely think it's interesting.
Yeah.
I think it's so interesting because, I mean, I'm as superficial as you are, I think. And I think when you're young, you are because you base everything on attraction because your personality hasn't quite...
We're just immature, is what you're saying.
No, I think we're selective. I think we're very selective people because we've been exposed to so many different things. If you live a life where you don't get exposed to a hell of a lot, and family values and loyalty and compassion and those things are it, that's what you will surround yourself with.
Only thing I can say to that is, I don't blame people for disappointing you. I blame yourself for trusting. There we go. That's the one. For trusting them.
I don't blame people for disappointing.
Slippery Pickle says, it doesn't matter how fat she is when the lights are off, Gareth. You just have to reach around the folds. Don't be disgusting first thing on a Friday morning. We spend a lot of time on this show being very mean to fat people, and not all of them can afford the Ozempic. So let's just Give them a break. I saw a very, very fat girl at the gym yesterday, but I never have a problem with that. I'm always extreme. I smile and I'm thrilled. I'm thrilled for them. I'm thrilled for everyone around them. I'm like, good for you. Because she's trying, making an effort.
And the thing is, sometimes it's not hard to get fat, and sometimes it happens. Everyone goes through life stages. Things work out. For women, it's very, very difficult because of the hormonal stuff as well. Yeah. But it's what you do about it.
Rebellious Ruth
Can't really
says,
judge from face value.
Rebellious Ruth says, you're selective, but you're alone. Yes, and that's from the chairperson of the of the comment section. So I'm afraid that is true. It doesn't hurt me though, just when you say that.
Yeah, you know what you can do when you're alone.
Well,
fuck it, everything.
Anything you want. I mean, when people say to me, "What are you doing this weekend?" I go, "Whatever I want," which is the best answer. And by the way, for December, that is my plan now. I pulled out of a holiday. I was going to go skiing, and first of all, I looked at it and I just thought this is too expensive. It really was. It's self-indulgent to a degree that even I am not capable of. I'm very self-indulgent. I like to do what I like to do. I had provisioned for myself a nice holiday, and skiing is one of my favorite things to do in the world. So I've gone to France, stayed there for 8 to 10 days, skiing every day. It's the best. But I looked at it and I thought, you can't afford to do this now. You just can't. You can't. There's not enough money for starters, and second of all, it seems like something that you still need to earn. So I've put it off. And therefore, I'm going to be at home for the whole holiday.
Nice.
Which is awesome. I'm so excited about it. I also have that thing that we talk about all the time where on the day of something cool, I'm always like, no, I don't want to do this. And I can imagine myself driving to the airport on the day before the holiday, which would have been this weekend. I think I would have gone. And I can imagine myself going, oh, I don't want to go. So I don't have that to deal with. But I'm actually really excited about being at home. So apparently this, what is the Akash Singh situation? Someone's talking about that in the comments. Living Sunny says, have you heard about the Akash Singh situation?
Who is Akash Singh?
I don't know. You got to fill us in on this. By the way, if you're also confused as to why Ben is here now and Leigh-Ann is not, and we've got a bit of a change around for today because Ben's going to what I call the $1 million, what he calls the Nedbank.
Yeah, I've got a 3-hour drive ahead of me, which I need to be very prompt with.
Okay, because you got to get there. And who are we backing this year, Ben? Let's get into some sport.
Look, it's always a good field, and what they do is they always spend quite a bit of money to get one massive marquee player.
So I remember there was a point a couple of years ago where they were actually battling to get the really big names here.
Yeah, it's been a transitional event. So obviously going back to the good old days that you enjoy, the $1 million, it was a select field.
Fulton Allen.
Yeah,
that's what I'm
select
talking
field.
about.
It started out as 5 players, Gareth, in 1981.
Right.
So this tournament was born when I was. And 5 players would basically Salt Koza saying, Gary, go and get all the major winners for the year. Let's make it a Grand Slam thing. So whoever won the majors, they got pulled out here to this unknown. It was an absolute unknown, like that sunbird over there.
Yeah, I saw that for a second. Sorry.
It was an absolute unknown, but it was Johnny Miller who won the first thing back in 1981. Mm-hmm. Gary played as well. He let them win, obviously. And there was only 5 of them. And then it went, 12 was the sweet spot, where it was literally the 12 best people because it was the end of the year. There were no other events on. It was a great time to go on the lash for a whole week. And the winner won $1 million. It was the biggest check.
It's $1 million shot.
You have
so
to go
give it
for
all
it.
you've got, and you could be the hero of the day. I remember that. I used to watch it on TV. I made a little golf course at home. I was so into it at the time that in the garden, I mowed the lawn, made little greens. My brother and I used to putt things around and chip.
It's been a thing. It's been a massive event. They call it Africa's Major. I feel it's like so much more than that for the people who have any sort of interest in golf. And because it's always at the same place, the Gary Player Country Club, and Sun City is just made for this. So it's a perfect
You think they'll
week
bury
in sports.
Gary under the 18th green?
I don't know where, because Gary obviously lives in America because it's a better country.
Gary could,
but
Gary could probably he could live forever for all we know.
Well, he's 9. He turned 90 this year.
Very
which
healthy.
Is extra significance because the Nedbank Golf Challenge in memory of Gary Player is the full title of this thing.
Oh, and he's not dead yet.
He's not dead yet, but it's in memory of him, which I feel is like maybe...
It's a bit of an insult.
It's a bit jumping the gun here.
I think they should say, while he's still here.
Yes.
Because otherwise it does sound like he's died, and he'll be there.
He's there. I mean, he's there all week as he has been. I mean, he basically lives at Sun City through like November, December because he has his invitational charity event.
On all the occasions you've met him and seen him, which has been many because you're a huge fan, has he ever remembered you?
Never.
No.
And I've never been that guy, hey, Gary, remember me? I just always, like it's the first time. That
must
guy,
think,
he meets 7,000.
I'm sure I know that, Oak.
He meets like 7,000 people a day.
That guy's at all my fucking events.
I'm not like that, but I mean, Gary meets everyone all the time. You remember like the biggest height of your celebrity, you get people to come to you and go, oh, Gareth, remember me? It's like, of course I don't fucking remember you.
But I was never Gary level. Gary's international level.
Gary's international.
He's got Trump on speed dial, for heaven's sake.
No, but like I'm like with any sporting celebrity, I'm not like, I'm friends with that guy. Like, shut up.
Yeah, well, Gary, I mean, if you were his friend, which you're obviously not, you're not important enough.
I'm not. I know.
But if you were his friend, you would tell people. I would be very proud to have Gary.
I mean, I'd obviously share experiences that we've had as friends.
Sure. Like when it was you and Gary and Patricia Lewis at that one event and you were all dancing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's quite special, Ben.
There's so much
in memory of Gary Player.
In memory of Gary Player.
So let's get back to the
so this event, right? So
challenge.
Yes, they went through a stage where they struggled to get the real big names because of where it was in the season. Because as the event's gone up, the PGA Tour has gone all season wraparound.
Right.
Tiger then had his own event, which he still does in the Bahamas. The DP World Tour basically finishes before this event starts. So all the big players are now kind of off-seasoning.
Yeah.
This weekend is the Australian Open in Australia land. I mean, Rory McIlroy is playing there this weekend. So golf just exploded. So as much as the Nedbank Golf Challenge was an absolute pioneer, everyone's kind of caught up. There's other select events around the world. There's other big money events. And it's impossible to have the biggest check in golf anymore. It just is. But somehow, and this is credit to Sun International and to Nedbank and these people who are very committed to this event.
I think it's great.
Somehow they still managed to get a good field. Like there's good DP World Tour players. I think there's about 8 or 9 top SA players that are playing. Victor Hovland is the big marquee player this year. And these guys, they're spending millions and millions to get a marquee player out. Max Homa came for 2 years. So they do. They put everything into this event. And when you go, it's all for you. Like we get to do this. I'm driving 3 hours. I'm going to be at a world-class golf event today. That makes me so excited.
I know.
And it is a really cool event. And this year, unlike last year, it's actually rained. So the course looks lush. It looks beautiful. And the scores yesterday reflected that. So Christopher Rattan, I think is his name. I just make notes.
I'm
he
quite
was 9 under
I
off yesterday.
actually was thinking about it because I saw the Nedbank Challenge and I thought, well, Ben's not there. Maybe he's decided to give it a skip this year. And then I suddenly corrected myself mid-thought and that would be impossible. Of course you would go.
I have people that are going for the first time this year, and they are so damn excited. I'm going to see them. It's one of those events that you just have to go to because a lot of people don't actually go there for the golf. It's just about being there with so many other people because it's the start of December. You're at Sun City.
It was a very, very dear friend of mine, Sue Clerk's birthday the other day. Sue used to be in charge of PR for Sun International for a long time. And she's an absolute darling. And I phoned her for her birthday the other day. We had a quick catch up. But she organized once for me to take my dad and his best friend to the Nedbank Challenge. And they flew. There were a whole lot of people. It wasn't just us. So it wasn't especially for me. But there were, 50 people. And we were all on one of those old DC aircraft.
Nice.
Landed at the Pilanesberg airport. Then they took us to the golf. Watched the golf, had lunch. It was amazing. And I mean, it was very cool to have my dad and his friend there and for them to see it at close quarters like that. So it's an amazing event either way to be at.
It really is.
And people come from all over the country. It's not just worms from Rustenburg, as you impolitely referred to them earlier, the guys who call it the $1 million.
Yeah. It's
everybody.
It's not just those oaks firing up their Hilux and driving down the road.
Yeah,
it's
you, Ben.
everywhere.
Right.
It's so great. And it's 44 years, guys. It's 44 years
That's amazing.
going strong.
That's terrific.
Going strong. So, yeah, Christopher Rattan, he is leading by 3. He's 9 under. So the scores are going to be better this year because it's not so hot and dry. Last year, guys would play nicely on the front 9 and literally melt on the back 9. They would come back like F1 drivers, 3 kilograms lighter, looking disheveled. Victor Hovland is obviously the huge name. He's 6 back at 3 under. So, that's this weekend. It'll be on, the weather looks pretty good. I'll try to update people as much as possible on social media. It's a phenomenal event. And it is the official start of summer in my life every single year. So I've talked rugby there, Gareth. So, Ibn Etzebeth stuck his finger in the Welsh guy's eye last week.
Yes, I heard about this.
Massive drama.
Big story.
I mean, this whole month of November, we alluded to on the Bounce Show this week, is that it became this whole tribal North versus South thing within rugby. And for good reason, too, because those oaks are pricks. They've won one World Cup in like all these years, and they're always moaning and stuff about stuff. And then they said to us, "Oh, you guys are always moaning, you complain about everything." It's like, you guys are such pricks and such little bitches about so much within world rugby that we're just basically reacting to that. So there's been all of this. It's become very tribal, which I find quite funny because I can turn it off after the last game.
Sure.
On, right?
You don't get to the office every morning steaming.
I don't have pitchforks and stuff,
sure.
but it's funny, okay? But now, Ibn sticking his finger in that guy's eye. I mean, Ibn the guy's disciplinary record to this point has been really great. He's played all these tests for all of these years, and he's only been sent off once. But there's this whole thug mentality that people want to put on him because he's a big enforcing brute of a man who plays hard but fair. But he's a big guy who does physical stuff, right? That's his job. So now everyone's jumping the bandwagon. This oak should be banned for life, blah, blah, blah. Well, he's got 12 weeks. James, can you bring up his little score sheet there and why he has 12 weeks? So how it works is that when you get cited, right, you get cited for a law. So it says there, Law 9.12, a player must not physically abuse anyone. Interesting use of the word abuse. It could have maybe said harmed. So Ibn has abused someone, the guy. Ibn was obviously provoked. You don't win. They were winning 73-0. It's the last game of the season. You're playing against an insignificant rugby team. Yeah. Do you really think Ibn's going to go out of his way to try and incur this sort of wrath of the international community? He was obviously provoked. Some say he was eye gouged previously. You never know with these guys that maybe grabbed his nuts. But he was provoked. So yes, he took the law into his own hands, which is wrong. He deserves punishment. So how they do it is they sit you down and they go through these different things here. And what it comes down to is that, yes, it was intentional, but Ibn's got a good record. He pled guilty. He showed remorse. He had good conduct. He was there on time. And it got brought down to 12 matches, which I think is actually fair.
You think it's fair?
Well, I mean, look, people were calling for life, Gareth.
When you've been setting up, though, for the last few weeks, just how biased against South Africa the authorities are here.
It has been.
I'm just very concerned that rugby becomes a bit like American football, where the health and safety folks get so involved that they have to wear helmets, that they have to follow all these rules. They must play rugby, and rugby is a contact sport.
It's this tattletale kind of scenario now where you're looking for slow-mos going, oh, look what he did, look what he did. It's like, guys, just play the fucking game.
It's going to make it kind of boring if these guys are second-guessing, and every move they make, they have to worry more about what the finding of some commission or a judge is going to be afterwards.
Yeah, it's become too much of a sideshow.
I think that's very, very scary.
So Ibn's based on a holiday now until March, which is lekker for him, and it'll probably prolong his career. So not that was the intention, but he gets to have a really cool holiday probably in Langebaan.
Okay.
I think that's where he
Well, it's a nice time of year as well to have the holiday. And, so good for him.
The World Cup, the three-peats in 2027 is all we care about. So we're getting him towards that. He did show remorse. He's obviously not going to stick his finger in some guy's eye ever again.
No.
And I'm sure he's very sorry, but he's not a thug. He's not a people are saying all kinds of horrible things about his character. It's a bit much.
Yeah, it's a bit much.
But this week also there was the Rugby World Cup 2027 draw. So how draws work? It's simple, right? Top seeds, second seed, you get seeds that go into it. So take, for example, in tennis, when Wimbledon takes place, you know that the top seed will be either Alcaraz or Sinner, and then they'll be either side of the draw. So if they all win their games, the final will be the top two seeds. There was a big thing about making sure you're the top seed by the end of this year because you go into the pool for that. So the Springboks are number 1 seed. New Zealand, number 2 seeds. If they win all their games, they play the fucking quarterfinal. How these Oaks cocked that up? The biggest game on seeding can be at the quarterfinal. So people are saying, yeah, but it's a draw. But then, like, why does World Rugby's rankings come into it?
It's very stupid.
It's just so stupid.
It's very stupid.
It's absolutely brain dead. Last time's World Cup, they cocked it up. All the best teams were on one side of the draw.
Maybe they got someone really doff in charge who can't figure out. I mean,
it is.
Brackets,
Yes.
right? The brackets is one of the most obvious things ever. We've done
So
brackets
easy.
about like celebrities who we think might die. We've had beautiful women brackets. We've had all kinds of brackets. How come we can figure that out at high school, and the guys who are running World Rugby, the World Cup of Rugby, cannot figure this out?
It's so basic.
You save the best one for last. You try to get roughly even Stevens along the way.
So, I mean, I'm complaining about the incompetence of a system. I think the draws actually turned out great for SA. So, when you are the top seed, you get given a very easy pool, which is actually shit. You want hard games all the time.
That's right.
So, we've got Italy as our hardest game. We've got Romania, who will be nothing. And we've got Georgia, who will be spirited.
These are all piss-widdly teams. We're going
Completely
to get to the end easily.
And then we're going to probably play maybe Tonga, because now there's a round of 16, because all these World Cups become bigger. It's like the FIFA World Cup. The draw is happening today.
Tonga.
48 teams are in the FIFA World Cup, but the
Nice.
draw's taking place today. So they're all getting bigger and bloated, which is fine because everybody wants their time in the sun.
Sure.
But what it does is that it puts us against New Zealand, and we play New Zealand all the time, right? Next year.
Yeah. No, I'm just saying hi to Leigh-Ann. She just snuck in there next to you.
Hello. It's very snug here next to bed.
Yeah, well, I've put you guys on new. Have you noticed
Basically
there is even more furniture that has changed? Look, I don't even know a bottom to the desk here.
I love
I
how
could just do
many
this if
I
I
love how
wanted
many
to.
tables are here.
Yeah, I know. We got that whole other table next to Leigh-Ann just for a mic to hook onto. And she's
Just for my Coke.
just for a drink.
I've got a table here as well, and we got that table.
All right, so you like it? Because we've got to do an appraisal every week. James is madly sourcing furniture every single week.
Well, look, at least I know Ben, but if this was someone I didn't know,
Not that closes.
if this was someone I met for the first time, I don't know.
You think it's a bit intimate?
Maybe a little.
Okay, all right. It doesn't look so on screen. So let's get back to the Rugby World Cup brackets.
So we've
Okay,
actually got a really good draw. Because
You mentioned Tonga at the last instance.
Yeah, we'll get to them in a bit. But like because we know New Zealand so well, next year we're playing them 4 times in that greatest rivalry tour. It's great that we get those Oaks in the quarters. They are declining a little bit.
Okay.
People don't. That coach might not even make the World Cup. So as much as this is seed 1 versus seed 2 and the format's stupid, I would love to play New Zealand in that quarterfinal. Sets the tone, gets you into the run of things, and then you're probably going to play France in the semis.
Okay.
And they're still butthurt about the fact that we keep beating them. Mm-hmm. And then England are on the easy side with all the other sort of like other teams.
The easy side.
So they might get through. So I love this draw. If it goes like New Zealand, France, England in the final, and we'll beat them all. I feel really good
You've
about
done a
it.
180-degree turn on this because when you started off, it sounded to me like, oh no, this is very bad. But
No,
now
but
you've painted a very rosy picture.
It's massive incompetence for World Rugby because their job was to do a draw. My job is to assess which are the best teams to play, which is like very separate.
Sure.
But the other small dynamic here is that New Zealand are declining ever so slightly. The World Cup will be taking place in Australia. Australia is in New Zealand's pool.
Yes.
The first game of this whole tournament will be Australia versus New Zealand. It's going to be an absolute banger. So what if New Zealand have a bit of an oopsie? And then suddenly Australia hit their straps, despite the fact that right now they're shit. This is 15 months away?
Right.
No, about 20 months away? It's going to be exciting, guys.
You're
That's what I'm
talking
going
like in
with it.
baby age
Well,
terms there.
it's just, yeah,
a year and
I can't say it's 2 years away because it's less than 2 years away. So, yeah.
How else do you figure it?
How
a
else?
year and however many
Leigh-Ann
months.
prefers it in days, so she wants you to say 478 days. That's what she's looking for.
Yeah, and I would say that, yeah, okay, so Australia needs to step up in 493 days. They need to be able to play New Zealand.
Day one, TikTok.
So onwards to that. But yeah, so that's the Rugby World Cup. Those are the massive talking points in rugby this week. The Champions Cup is back, the Invicta Champions Cup.
Yes.
Which is like the Champions League of rugby, as I always say. It's the teams that are really, really moneyed, like well resourced. So Leinster always get to the end of this. Toulouse, Bordeaux. These are all really good teams. Our teams don't have the resources and squad depth just yet, but they're getting better. So this weekend, Bayonne will be hosting the Stormers, who are top of the URC right now. They're the best in the URC.
Mm-hmm.
They're unbeaten through 6 matches. They'll be taking place at 10 o'clock tonight. The Bulls will be hosting Bordeaux Begler, the defending champs, at Loftus tomorrow, 5:15.
Okay.
Has Loftus ever had such a fancy named team in it before?
Maybe. I think could it be the first time the Bordeaux Beglers or the Bordeaux Beglers could be pulling through.
All right.
Yeah. And then Toulouse, who are really, really great, are taking on the Sharks, who are really, really shit. And that'll be on Sunday at 5:15.
Toulouse or to win?
Leigh-Ann, they...
Loves a pun.
It's a crying shame that this team is so good. Otherwise, the Toulouse would be often used. No, they're really great. It's like France's second best team behind Bordeaux Beglers.
All right. Is there any other sport that you'd like
So much, Gareth. I know it pains you that there's
No, we
always so
just got
much.
Dr. Hanan, and he's ready? Okay, so I don't want to waste his time. So can
No,
we
sure.
get back to some sport after?
It's just
And we can do what we want on the show.
it's such a
really.
big thing for Formula One, so let's end on that.
All right, let's get to that just now. First, here he is, Dr. Hanan, who has been waiting patiently online. Are you into sports at all, Dr. Hanan? Care about this stuff Ben's talking about?
I do. I like. I watch soccer, but I watch the big matches, the finals of whatever.
You're not a massive fan. Is there anything you do watch? You watch series? Do you watch documentaries? What do you do in your spare time? People
I
think you're a
do love
machine.
documentaries. I do love a great documentary, but I do watch the finals of a good competitive match for sure.
Let me ask you this quickly, because it's been on my mind a bit. And Leigh-Ann has often spoken about how much she loves it. Why is it so many women love watching true crime and serial killers? And what's going on there with these girls that they like watching all these terrible people who are the worst of humanity? Why do the girls get so into that? I've never watched one of these. I don't want to watch one of these shows. It would upset me. Do you have a reason for this? Do you have a suspicion?
I do. I think it's an untouched fantasy that they can't really realize in real life.
To kill or to what?
To fix. They want to fix these murderers.
Do they want to fix the murderers? What do you think it is?
Fix.
Oh, right. You and Ben are on the money.
Fix.
They want to fix the guys.
If only he met me, he wouldn't be a murderer.
Right. So you want to take these. Is that why there are all those women who write to convicted criminals
Yes,
as well
in
in prison?
prison.
They write them love letters and they fall in love with them. And when there's a mug shot of some guy, like the guy who killed the CEO of that insurance company in New York, then all the girls fall in love with him. I'm saying obviously all the girls, not all of them. But is that why it happens too? They want to fix these guys.
There's this fantasy, and I think I mentioned this last week, where this imagine you go to a brand new car dealership and you buy a car that's a code 3, that's a proper wreck, and for some reason you think the longer you drive it, the more it's going to fix itself. So there's a need to take something that's broken and fix it just by driving it.
Stupid girls.
No, it's not only
Yes.
that. It's, yes, that. But then let me say this as well. It's a weird thing. It's like if you fall in love with like a gangster who's like
girls
notorious
like a bad boy.
for notorious for killing people,
Right.
even killing women.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, he won't kill me. I must be special.
Oh, wow. What delusion. I think this is because a lot of girls have living in the first world. I mean, I don't think it's women who are in dangerous situations who are watching this usually. I think it's girls who've just forgotten what danger looks like.
And it's like, so
They need to remind themselves.
I was in the ER 2 days ago, not for myself. And I was
Just go there because you like
You
hanging
just
out.
I went for lunch.
You just got to hang
I
around.
went for lunch. Their rolls are really good. No, shame. It was my aunt with appendicitis. She had to have it removed. But anyway, I was standing outside waiting to change over with another family member. And this this normal car pitched up, screeching into the ambulance bay.
Right.
And the doors flung open and they were shouting, get a chair, get a chair. It was at that moment, when you're supposed to walk away because you're going to see something you're not supposed to, but for some reason you stay. And these two people pulled this guy out of the front, and he was a white guy, but as pale as a sheet. He was covered in his knuckles were bleeding, and it looked like he'd fallen down something big. He had like grass and mud stains down his back, and he was bleeding all over. He'd wet himself. He was like falling over.
Sounds like very rough sex.
He was like losing consciousness.
Oh, wow.
And it's so weird how.
And there's you rubbernecking, trying to get a better view.
I've obsessed about it to the point where I'm like, I need to see him to see if he's okay. It's like I drove past an accident once as it happened, got out to help the guy, and we ended up having like a 2-week affair.
No, this is dangerous.
It's like a danger thing.
Yeah, I think it's because really, Dr. Hanan, I've thought about this quite a lot. It's also why a lot of white liberal women in America support like politics that just run completely contrary to their interests. It's because they've kind of forgotten what danger looks like. There seem to be a cohort of people in the world, and it's not just women, and it's not just a particular race or a political bent. I think there are just people who live in such splendid isolation from any of the travails of life that they have to watch these shows and be around a little bit of danger just to feel like they're alive. Does that make any sense at all? Because it's my sneaky suspicion. It's an unformed theory. It's still in my head, but that's what I'm kind of getting to.
So I'll tell you psychologically what happens is that the brain naturally seeks out discomfort, because once we have a certain sense of pattern and normalcy and a certain consistency, the brain gets bored. Exactly. So it takes it for granted. That's all. People that are consistent and stable and predictable are naturally boring, and we take them for granted. But we like danger because it's unknown, unpredictable. What's going to happen next? It's exciting. It gets our blood flowing. So naturally we are drawn to things that don't make sense, things that don't add up, things that are unpredictable, more so than we are drawn to things that are predictable.
All right, let's get to the subject at hand for this morning, and it's something that both Ben and Leigh-Ann will want to pitch in on, I think, because this happens to all of us, but there's a lot of it in sport. We often talk about people who choke in sport. We talk about people who self-sabotage at the wrong moment, right? When they're just about to make it, they self-sabotage, you know. There are those people who, today's the big day and you've got a massive interview, it's your job of a lifetime, and your throat gets sore. And this is probably psychological. But in sport, you get these guys and they're about to go into a massive game. They've got the whole country behind them, and then the pressure's just too much and they choke. What is this self-sabotage thing, and how can people identify it for starters? And what can we do to prevail against it?
So what happens on a psychological level is, as I mentioned now, the brain is really attracted to one very important thing. It wants familiarity. Yeah. It wants to know that it can predict the next move. Because once the brain knows it can predict the next move, it requires literally zero metabolic energy. That's why driving a car requires zero metabolic energy. But the moment I change the brakes and the accelerator around, even though I tell you, your brain goes into a frenzy because it can't predict. It's not used to it. It's unfamiliar. So naturally, when we're about to conquer something that is outside of our familiar, outside of what we know, outside of our predictable mindset, then naturally the brain is going to resist. So intellectually, we all want to step out of our comfort zone because it's safe in our heads. Intellectually, we all want to win. We all want to be financially secure. We all want to be in the best relationships intellectually because it's safe. But the moment we get there, the brain goes, hold on one second. Do I know what to expect? Do I know what it is? Where are the tigers? Where are the lions lurking behind the corner? I'm not ready for this. And it will do everything it can in order to stop you from stepping out of the comfort zone or to getting into something that's unfamiliar. It's like the idea of bungee jumping. In theory, it makes complete sense. But once I'm on the platform, 100 meters above ground, I freeze because the brain goes, I think this is a bad idea. This will require extra metabolic energy in order to pursue, and rather let's conserve that energy for the lions and the tigers that could come up during the course of the day. The question is, how do we overcome it? And the trick is to put yourself in those scenarios over and over again, emulate those scenarios. So out of practice, you know exactly what to do, especially when you're in that spot again, your brain finds it familiar. So, for example, a student, how do they practice writing for exams? What I recommend to students is that when they study, have the heater on full blast so it's uncomfortable while you're studying. Have the aircon on full blast so you're uncomfortable while you're studying. Have loud music in the background so while you're studying, it's uncomfortable. So when you are in that scenario and it's much less comfortable than that, or a little bit more comfortable than that, you're much more used to it. I do that with all my sportsmen and women. We put them in difficult scenarios in practice. So when they're in that moment of needing BMT, they are so well versed because they've practiced it a million times.
That's interesting. I wonder how many of us try to make things as comfortable as possible when we are trying to achieve a certain result, and in so doing almost create a negative
exactly
that's just too easy.
Because it's not an intellectual pursuit. You must understand that when you're in that moment, what you prepared for intellectually is irrelevant. Because the prefrontal cortex, the thinking part of the brain, in that moment of fight or flight, literally shuts off. What you prepared in your head doesn't make sense. You've got to experience it over and over so it's subconscious. So put yourself in very difficult situations. So when you're in that moment, your brain knows exactly what it feels like experientially, not intellectually.
All right. Well, I've got an interesting new idea here. I'm going to make Flex and James sit in an ice bath during the course of the show so that we can get them up to speed. I think you guys should sit in there for 2 hours during the show. And then, you can have separate ice baths, but you'll both be sitting there working from your ice bath, and therefore you'll be far more aware of what's going on, and we won't have any problems on the show ever. You'll be totally
standing desks, but on marbles.
That's very good. What a good idea! Standing desks on marbles. You see?
Yeah, because ice baths are very hard to make, bring here and stuff,
and you can't do 2 hours in them. You'll die.
James will be crying, so we'll hear his tears falling into the water.
Okay, good. Let's not do that.
Frozen tears.
Let's not do that. It's a kind of torture. All right, Dr. Hanan, have an excellent weekend, and we will see you next week.
Gareth, I want to ask for a favor before you go.
Okay, sure. Anything you want.
So I was listening to the show earlier, and you portrayed perfectly the art of discreet storytelling about your friend that lives overseas, whose birthday it was.
Yes, you had the very ugly wife. Yeah.
I love that. Can you please retell that story, but in a Trump accent? Please.
I called this friend of mine. He's a tremendous guy. He's very successful. He's a big winner, massive winner. Got a wife. She's very ugly. She's a very ugly woman, very unfortunate looking woman. She is terrifically ugly and very off-putting. Not a 10 out of 10. Not a 10. That's it.
You're the best. I love that.
Thanks, Doc.
Thanks for making my day. Appreciate
weekend.
it.
All right.
You too.
Cheers.
Bye, guys.
All right, Ben, I know you got to run off to Sun City.
But Gareth,
quickly, Formula One.
Formula One is so damn fun right now because Lando Norris is about to win his first ever world championship, right?
Right.
He's 12 points ahead.
By the way, I know this is true because people who don't normally talk about Formula One are suddenly talking about it.
It's on. Yeah. It's on. So he just needs to finish 4th, 5th, whatever it is. It's unimportant. We must all be gunning for Max to basically give him like the fear of God on every home stretch for this weekend. If Max wins, Lando finishes 4th or lower, Max Verstappen is the champion. For the 5th time, he'll be a 5-time world champion. And there is so much great banter around this. And also,
Max.
Just back Max. Oscar Piastri and Lando are like talking about team orders. They're all disarray. Max is just going to go out there, cock on cockpits, whatever. He doesn't care. He wants to win. It's going to be so exciting. That's the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix on Sunday. Also, huge match in the Premier League. So Arsenal, of course, are up top. They're doing really, really well. I think it's 11 points ahead of James's team now. But they're playing Aston Villa, which is a really big team because they've won 8 in a row. 2:30, early game on Saturday. The Proteas are playing tomorrow, who are doing so well in India.
Yes.
And it's UFC 323. And
Wow.
all the golf.
Bumper weekend.
So much, guys.
All right. Well, that is perfect in December. That's what we want. Enjoy your birthday week, Ben, and
it's
enjoy
the birthday week.
the Nedbank Challenge.
Going to Gareth.
Yeah,
I'm so excited.
Make sure you ask someone at Sun International to find me that $1 million song.
I want that song.
I want that too. So speak to Alistair. He's the guy to talk to. He's been there for 100 years. He started the Nedbank Challenge. He's the guy to ask. All right. Leigh-Ann is here. We've got lots to talk about. But before we get into any of that, I'm way behind on the comments section. I don't want them to think that I'm ignoring them. So if you go to Oz, the rules are so restrictive about health and safety that I could not live with so little adrenaline, says Chris. Good point. Men need to be in the moment and learn how to help around the house unless there is a traditional role in bringing home the bacon and the woman runs the home. Well, Rebellious Ruth, you cannot get rid of hundreds of years of gender roles in 70 years of second wave feminism. But I agree with you. And then there are people talking about why women watch those serial killers. And someone asked here, can you please ask Leigh-Ann what the hell's going on with her trying to follow that guy or find out what happened to him, the guy in the accident? I mean, there's a morbid curiosity, right, that sets in.
Look, a lot of it is just what the hell happened. It looked so mysterious because, so he was accompanied by a really big black guy who looked like he was not from South Africa. He was
Congolese.
the driver. And in the back was
Your people, the Congo.
my people, yes. A very big, not fat, but tall, heavy-set, long-haired, blonde Russian woman.
Sure.
And then
Maybe it was gang warfare. This does sound fascinating.
As soon as I saw it, I thought,
Sure.
like I couldn't go into much detail because we had Dr. Hanan on. But as soon as I saw it, I thought, are these people, it looked like they were going to kick him out of the car and drive off. That's what it looked like.
Okay, so this is way more exciting the second time around.
Yeah.
The first time you explained it, I thought, ooh,
was
you're a
trying to keep it
weirdo.
short.
Now I think everyone should know.
And she was like, bring the chair. And it was just weird. And they put him in, but then they stayed. I had to go back into the ER and walk past them while they were working on this guy, and in order to get to my aunt. And the doctors were asking what had happened, and she said, I just heard the pebbles falling, and when I looked, he'd fallen. But I think he must have fallen from a great height because there were scrapes down his back. I don't know if he was maybe they were filming something on set. It was just fascinating.
That does sound exciting. I mean, you got me involved.
Like, how do you piece that all together? It was just very weird.
Lots of people complaining about the set. We're going to keep changing it until Christmas. So just get it. By the way, how many shows left until Christmas?
Oh my goodness. 2?
The 19th will be our last show. So that's 2 shows left for the year. Okay, well, you know what? We'll start next year with a bang, and I can promise you we got lots of cool shit organized for next year. Great guests. We've been talking about this, James and I, and Flex and Ben and Leigh-Ann. We've been figuring it out. So we'll let you in on what we've decided at the start of January. By the way, today we've got a fascinating guy coming on called Gareth Soma.
Gareth Soma.
Gareth Soma. He's from the South.
Is it?
He's in property. He's a real hustler, and I'm interested to talk to him. Yeah. So far, when we bring in guests from the South, they have tremendous
the South is very
tremendous success with the audience.
rich in culture. Yes.
Yes, it is. It's a fantastic place. You're from there. Yeah.
Well, born next to the pollution towers in the east.
Oh.
Yes.
So not pure South.
I was 6 when I then was relocated to the South.
Okay. Okay, well, that's your
So
creds are still...
born in the East.
Your
raised
creds are
in the
still
South.
good. You're being very particular about this because you know the people from the South.
I don't want
are-
to take credit for being
No,
born.
sure. But I do have to compliment you also. I never listen to the show after we've done a show. I find it very dreary to do that because I think, well, I was there. Why would I want to listen to it again? But I listened to over the weekend. I was doing some stuff around the house, and our show came on because it's on my playlist. And you were hilarious about that Miss Universe stuff. I had no idea. Thank God
It
for
was
Leigh-Ann.
crazy.
We would never have known about all the incredible, wild happenings at this year's Miss Universe if it wasn't for you bringing that information to us.
I kind of wished that I'd watched it from the beginning, but I never would have.
What a soap opera.
Yeah.
So what do you got for us today?
Oh my goodness.
Okay, no, seriously, have you brought us some, what's the gossip? What's
I can
what's
tell
the big
you,
story?
And the big story, not in news, but in my life, was this appendicitis thing.
This is the aunt.
Yeah.
Is this the same aunt who, in a WhatsApp message once, you misspelt aunt and it autocorrected to cunt?
No, that one's dead.
Oh, different aunt. Okay, so this one had appendicitis.
Well, this one phoned me on Monday night, and she battles to read her symptoms sometimes.
Okay.
So sometimes she'll say, I feel like I'm dying. In the meantime, it's like a battery of farts that she has on board. And it's true, because we had to take her to the hospital once to have her arsehole stretched.
I remember this.
You
I remember.
remember.
Yes,
That
I remember.
aunt.
The arsehole stretch aunt.
Yes.
Yeah.
And when she came out of that surgery into a tightly packed ward of 6 women and their visitors over lunchtime, she proceeded to go into the bathroom and let out colonoscopy farts in succession, where I had to make noises with the hand vent, the drying vents and the taps, coughing to try and cover up for her.
No, but that sounds very bad. That sounds like a severe case.
Yes, no. But no, colonoscopy farts are a thing if you look them up. Once you've had a colonoscopy, they encourage you to let it all go.
Well, because they've been probing up there.
All the air gets in. It's got to come out. Anyway, that aunt said, my stomach is in absolute agony. And I thought, oh boy, we've got to stretch the arsehole further. The farts are building up again. So I said, is this...
This is revolting. All right.
I was in my pajamas Monday night. Do we need to go to the
Stretch an
hospital
arsehole
now?
again. Oh.
Like, is it an emergency, or can it wait for the doctor tomorrow? Okay, it can wait. Next day, and she said to me, I think it's my appendix. I said to her, it's not your appendix. Which side is it sore?
Yeah.
She says, in the middle. I said, well, then it's definitely not your appendix.
Oh, there's Dr. Leigh-Ann. All right.
Next day, pick her up, take her to the GP. And the GP's like, I'm not happy with this situation. Get her to hospital immediately. That's when we ended up at the ER. Took about 5 hours after the contrast dye CT
Jesus.
scan.
Yeah, they do that. All that
Wondering
bariometric.
why it was
what is
taking so long. And it's because the radiologist himself called for a second opinion, because they couldn't believe that a 69-year-old woman had acute appendicitis that was already starting to
Yes, because you would
burst.
think with a 69-year-old woman it would be a very ugly appendicitis, not a cute one.
Yes, exactly, by then.
Yes, of course. I mean, just the age is against you, you know?
So, no, and she had to have it removed immediately.
Sure.
Yeah.
So this was an exciting adventure for you. A
little,
diversion from your
little
normal,
diversion.
yeah, from your normal course of business. A lot of people talking in here about Michael Dell, who I assume is the computer Dell guy. His wife Susan Dell, Carl DeSantos says. Oh, let's take a look at her, because it may relate to my friend who has the ugly wife. I think that's what it's in relation with. A lot of people saying Happy Friday. Yes, this is the best time of year. I'm so excited. And the weather has been insane the last couple of days with these storms. We're getting back into that pattern of afternoon thunderstorms, and violent ones, I got to add. There's like an old age home in Pretoria North that someone sent me a video of. And there are all these old people and walkers going through ice this high from hail.
Jeez.
Yeah, pretty bizarre and a freak
There was a tornado
storm.
somewhere as well.
It's crazy. It's not good. Whatever's going on now, just calm it down.
And it's
Take
not
it down.
warm. I see you're in shorts. I'm in stockings.
Well, do you know what? In South Africa in summer, you must wear shorts. It's the rule. That's the rule. Durban Dope says, if you keep drinking Coke in the morning, your niece will be doing the same for you one day. All right.
Yeah, maybe. Look, it's sugar free. It's just a little bit of caffeine because I don't drink coffee.
James, you got that picture for us? All right. I just want to see what this, because I don't know who Susan Dell is. And Oh,
Sure, she's very surprised.
wow. So is he the computer guy? Okay, so he's Dell Computers. He looks like she looks like a man. I don't think she looks like a man. It's an unfortunate.
Got a lot of work done.
She's an unfortunate looking woman. I've never ever said this before, but her eyes look too big. I've always thought the bigger the eyes, the more attractive usually. But her eyes are too big. Something's not right
Got a
there.
great body.
She looks in good shape, but I don't think she's hideous. No, I'm the friend I'm talking about. That wife,
That man is more hideous
you'd get a
looking
fright.
than she is.
Yeah, he's not great looking either. Listen, he's got billions of dollars from Dell Computers, and I'm sure she has nothing else to spend the money on but to go to the plastic surgeon. So let
Yes.
them both knock each other out, and they're still happily married, are they? Good. They're saving children. So you know what, Carl DeSantos, that is extremely unkind of you that these people are saving children while you are sitting in the South and you're being rude about them. Just leave Susan Dell alone. Leave her alone. I've always wondered what women stock in their stockings. They have no balls, says Chris. Well, stockings, Leigh-Ann says, keep her little legsies warm.
Yes.
That's what they do. So now you know. She's a robot. She looks like Bridget Macaron. Macron, I think you mean. Says Gun.
Macaron.
I find this Bridget Macron. Now she's a strange looking woman.
Yeah.
That Susan Dell she's got nothing to worry about.
And with Bridget, it's not so much that they're saying she looks like a man or maybe was a man before. Man or woman, she's got strange movements.
Yeah, she's a very
like alien movement.
Yeah, she doesn't. Yeah, there's something not right there. Something doesn't add up.
As a person who has titanium hips.
This is where AI will never prevail. Our eyes are trained to look for things that don't fit, that don't make sense.
Listen,
So when AI creates a perfect video, everything's too perfect, we're going to go, oh, it's AI. It's obviously not real, because our eyes pick up the odd things.
I pride myself on being able to do that quite well, especially because I have to know the difference in my job. But I've been fooled once or twice.
Really?
Like in the last week. The first time was with this bulldog that snowboards.
Oh.
It was very realistic. And it had a woman's voice on it. Then I went back.
And not that terrible voice.
Ashamedly, I liked
Not that
it. I
terrible
hearted
voice
it.
of like the...
No.
Here's a bulldog going on a skateboard. I hate
No,
that
she was
voice
like-
so... Can I tell you something? I hate that voice so much that when it comes up on a video, even if it's a video I need to watch, something important, something interesting, I can't watch it. The minute that voice comes on, I'm like, I'm out. I want to throw my phone against the fucking wall when I hear that voice.
It's terrible.
Here's something you don't know yet. You'll never believe what this person did. It is like kryptonite to me. I completely lose track of everything else. I become violent.
It's horrible.
Oh,
I
it's
agree.
horrible. So the bulldog fooled you.
Yes. And then somebody said AI, and I felt like such a fool for hearting it.
Oh, well, there we go.
Then I look back on the account, and they've done some pretty realistic things, like the bulldog sliding on its stomach and bashing into toilet rolls. So things are getting a little bit more real.
Rebellious Ruth says the ironic thing is that none of us are perfect. If we can love ourselves, we won half the battle. That is true. That is true. And I think not necessarily just to love yourself, but to know yourself is probably the battle. To know what you're good at, what you're bad at, what you have, what you don't. That's really the key. You know, Socrates, know thyself. Know thyself. If you can get to some point in your life, hopefully earlier, but sometimes for most of us is a lot later, where you look in the mirror and you go, I'd buy me a beer. I always think that's a good indicator. All right. What about that pineapple insurance ad, says Carol Deering. What about the pineapple insurance ad?
Which one?
Have they
There are
also
a
got
few.
that voice in it? Please tell me it isn't so. I hate that voice. Oh man, if I could, I would end that voice before I'd end mosquitoes. That's how much I hate it.
wow.
Yeah, that's how much I hate it.
Jeez, you'd live with mosquitoes for the rest of your
James,
life.
find an example of that voice. That AI TikTok voice. Oh,
Yeah.
listen, I'm not on TikTok, right? So when you send me stuff like you have,
3 hacks for peeling potatoes.
Oh, I hate it.
Oh, yeah.
When you send me stuff, it has to come up on
TikTok.
No, it has to come up on a normal browser because I don't have TikTok on my phone. So then I click it and I'm like, oh, damn it. Shouldn't have clicked on that. No, it's bad. I did send you the Zimbabwean song.
You did?
I did, which we will now, whenever, I want everybody to get into the habit of whenever we hear the word Zimbabwe, we just hear this song.
People for disappointing you. I blame yourself for trusting them. I don't blame people for disappointing you. I blame yourself for trusting them. Trust nobody, suspect everybody. Don't tell people about your vision.
All right, very good. That's very important, and I think we've got to get into it. How did it end for Socrates, Gareth? What was the Socratic ending, says Slippery Pickle? Well, yes, it ended very badly for Socrates. He poisoned himself with hemlock.
On purpose?
Well, they said he was teaching the youth of Athens bad things. So he said, well, yeah, for you, I say, because Socrates is Greek, right? Mm-hmm. Don't you tell me, I fuck you, I take the hemlock. That's what he did.
He was so angry.
That's how it went. Those are his actual words. He went to, fuck you, I take the hemlock.
Oh my gosh.
Malaka. Anyway, he did. So yeah, it didn't end well for him. The more we understand ourselves, the more true will be the image of how we see the world, or how we are in the world. Yes, that's correct. Chris Smith, look at all of you. We have a crop of Socrates-like philosophers in our audience today.
When you said his name, I thought you were talking about Christmas, and you had
Chris
a list.
Smith.
Chris Smith.
I thought you meant Socrates.
No.
No, not
Chris Smith.
Socrates. You like Socrates.
I like Socrates.
Okay, Socrates. 100% be grateful, says Rebellious. Ruth is very touchy-feely and soft and emotional this morning. I like this. Here in South Africa, not in South Africa, in the South, says Louis, we have no filter. We say what we think out loud all the time.
Out loud.
Say it like you would in the South. Say that.
We don't hold back. We just say it out loud.
That's so great. I do love it. All right, so enough of the comment section. What do you have for us today? You said you've got some saucy, juicy stuff.
Oh, maybe not that saucy, but very clever. And that's this study that was done on puma poop, in the Guatemalan jungle. So in the Guatemalan jungle, you've got a number of predators.
Yes.
And they're all fighting it out. They all kind of eat the same thing. But because of that, they've had to stop eating certain things and hunt on a different level.
The restaurant menu for the Guatemalan wild animals has changed.
Yes.
This is
So there you've got jaguars, you've got ocelots, is it margays?
Don't know what that is, Leigh-Ann. You talk to me like I'm David Attenborough.
So
I have no
all
idea.
These cats, right, that live in the Guatemalan Maya biosphere.
Jesus.
And they're all competing for food. So it seems now from looking at their poop that they've decided to stop fighting against each other in order to continue surviving in this jungle. So they've each changed their diets and their hunting zones so that they can coexist.
Yes.
Instead of fighting each other out, they've learned how to live alongside.
Oh, so they're not competing for the same prey.
They've changed like their diets. So they've picked up now from they're picking up their poop that they've figured out between themselves that they're going to now divide the jungle into layers. Bottom layer, second layer, third layer, and fourth layer. And they're now...
How many of them eat that chick?
She was eaten just after this.
Oh, okay.
Yes. But
after she collected the
by
puma.
the bottom cat.
Imagine being a cat and you're sitting in the bushes and you see this human come along and scrape your turd up from the ground and put it in a packet. I would attack her. I'd be so humiliated. I'd be like, leave it alone. Have you ever watched a pet while they're defecating? They get very embarrassed. They don't want you to watch them.
No, dogs are the opposite. Dogs will look right at you. They do. They look right at you while they're squatting. And there's a biological reason for that, and I've forgotten what it is.
Oh, okay. My dog does not. She gets very embarrassed when I happen to glance through the window, and she's like in the garden. Doesn't like it. Gets very embarrassed.
So these animals are hunting in different vertical zones to avoid each other and allow each other to just live.
Well, you know, when the menu gets restricted, you've got to change your diet.
But it's quite amazing. You'd think predators would just be really animalistic and
No, to take
not
each other
care.
out. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so
But here they're just learning.
so we have a kind of they're starting to develop a system of government.
Yes.
Effectively, that's what they're doing. Who knew that the animals in the Guatemalan jungle would start developing a political system?
So the jaguars are eating mainly peccaries. These are
Peccaries are pigs, yeah.
pig-like ungulates. And 9-banded armadillos, very specific. Ocelots are focusing on medium and small mammals, including opossums and spiky pocket mice. Margays are feeding mostly on small arboreal animals. So those are your mice, your rats, and opossums as well. And then the Central American spider monkeys
Yeah.
and black howler monkeys.
What are they after?
They make the largest share of the puma diet. So the pumas have decided they'll go for the monkeys.
So it almost sounds like they've had a meeting.
Yes,
And they've
very
decided,
sensible.
You guys have this. This is for you. This is for us. This is for them, and let's all just get along.
Unlike the rest of the world.
Again, humans could learn from this because we haven't even got that right. We're constantly bickering over what we don't have and what other people do. Right?
100%.
Unbelievable.
Makes you feel embarrassed.
It's embarrassing. Let's just call it what it is. It's embarrassing. Well, speaking of embarrassing, this is really frightening, and it's probably one of my worst fears. There's a 65-year-old Thai woman who is believed to have woken up inside her coffin moments before her cremation.
Ooh.
So apparently, shocked mourners reported that this woman had been transported for 300 miles for the ceremony. People at the crematorium heard knocking and discovered she was still alive.
Ugh.
She was taken to hospital, treated for hypoglycemia, and later released. Though her brother, who had brought her to the crematorium, reportedly said he felt indifferent upon learning that she was alive. So he didn't give a shit. He was like, okay, well.
He probably, when he first learned she was dead, went,
Yeah.
And then she was alive again, and he went,
Yeah, you win some, you lose some. She's like, I'm alive. Let me out of this coffin.
And all she had was low blood sugar.
Oh, I would hate to wake up in a coffin. Oh.
But moments from being incinerated alive.
No. Oh, that is a. I don't think I'd recover. I'd have a heart attack and die, and I'd be dead again. The second time.
Remember there was that African Maruti, that pastor, who came alive in his coffin. But it was all for show.
Oh, he made it up so he could impress the crowd.
Yes.
Okay, no, that's not. I don't like that. I don't fall for that crap. So they've offered to cover her medical costs.
Oh, well,
the
there you go.
crematorium. But I cannot imagine a more terrifying thing for the people in attendance and for her.
Yeah. No. I'm sorry, that would freak me out.
You just start hearing this thumping from the I mean,
I'd never be the same again.
It's the most disturbing part of, I think, the whole Kill Bill trilogy is where she's in the coffin under the ground and she starts hitting the coffin until she breaks through that, and then she digs her way out of that grave. 6 foot down. I mean, I don't think it's possible. It's a movie, so it's mostly fantasy, but it's not possible. When you're in there, you just got to accept your fate. Apparently the term dead ringer comes from a period in English history where a lot of people were dying and being hastily buried. And then they would attach
all those plagues and things.
They'd attach a bell with a string
inside the lid.
Inside the no. So you could from the inside of the coffin you could ring the bell and they'd know, oh shit, we buried a live one, and they'd dig you out. That's where dead ringer comes from. I don't know if it's true, but that's what I heard. And then, I don't know, we've had many discussions on the show about revolting food, but Vegemite is an Australian thing.
Yes.
I don't like Bovril or Marmite or Vegemite.
Oh, you
I won't eat any of it. It's absolutely appalling to me. I like salty stuff, but that's no good.
So would you have a fish paste? Like
No,
an anchovy
won't do that
paste,
either.
anchovette,
No.
Sardine spread?
No. I once ordered something with like an olive tapenade, which I
yes.
like. Okay,
Yes.
but they had bits of anchovy in the olive.
Oh.
And I did not like it, Sam. I do not like green eggs and ham. So an Australian inmate serving a life sentence is suing for what he calls his human right to eat Vegemite, arguing that banning the iconic spread in Victoria's prisons violates his cultural rights and denies him adequate food.
Cultural
Yeah.
right.
So he says it's like, as an Australian,
Does
I
he
have,
know?
I have the cultural right to have Vegemite.
I mean, you could say, because remember, the white population of Australians comes from England.
Yeah,
originally.
originally.
The Poms.
Yeah, but they also originally either prison stock or prison guard stock.
Yes.
Yeah.
Prisoners of Her MS, Majesty's Service.
Yeah, the prisons,
Yes.
the English prisons. They sent convicts.
So is Vegemite really his cultural? I suppose he developed a new culture.
Well, it's an
in
Australian.
Australia.
Vegemite is uniquely Australian. We have. What is the difference again? Because I've
Bovril
never.
is beef. Marmite is vegetable. Vegemite is also vegetable, but it's more popular in Australia.
You like it?
I only like Bovril. I will not touch the others. Vegemite is the worst.
Oh. Some people will only eat the vegetable one.
Yes.
The plant one. Anyway, so he says that he needs the Vegemite very badly in prison, and he says it's been prohibited since 2006 because it can mask drug scents, and it contains yeast, which authorities fear could be used to produce alcohol.
Oh.
The case is now heading to trial, and it sparked backlash from the victims' advocates who call the lawsuit frivolous, and they think it's offensive, while the prisoner insists the ban infringes on his identity as an Australian. So I think this guy sounds like an interesting character. He sounds like the kind of person we'd like to have on this show.
Yeah. He's like I can imagine him wearing a cork hat.
Yeah, and drinking
A hat of corks.
4X lager.
Yeah.
Right? And calling every woman Sheila. That's a real Australian. Those are the kind of Australians that we want. I've been thinking about Christmas presents, right, for the family. Because even though every year we all say, oh, no, one present each, don't go overboard. It makes it boring.
You kind of want to buy something for
I'm not
everyone.
buying expensive things, by the way.
Yes.
You could buy 3 or 4 little things that cost you very little. It
Yeah.
doesn't have to be expensive at all. And it's more fun to watch, especially for the kids, to watch them opening like 4 or 5 presents, and they get super excited because they got so many. You know, with kids, it's either you have to have the biggest present or the most.
Or many, yes.
And sometimes that's true for adults as well. And so I went and did a mad online shop this week.
Yeah.
And I had lots of fun doing it.
It is fun.
Online shopping is the tits.
I also have a friend's
I love
miss for the first time this year.
Oh, you're doing a friends miss?
Tomorrow, yes. With like a Secret Santa vibe. And we had an offer Secret Santa vibe as well, which I haven't had in a while. So
Oh, cool.
all of those. But last year I was a lot more organized. I bought everything online, all my Christmas stuff. It was done 2 months before.
Was it all a mess this year?
This year's been a bit doing last minute stuff.
Well,
That happens.
I will not, I have not, and I have no desire to go to the shops.
No.
It's,
no.
You know, a couple of things have become really unpleasant. Did we discuss this last week, or is it just something that's been on my mind? Because I thought about it. The movies have become unpleasant. And not that I go to the movies, but did we discuss this, James?
No.
So, all right, I'm always nervous because I think about it in my head, and then I think we've done it on the show.
Yeah, it's like sometimes having dreams and you don't know if it's
Correct.
Yeah.
Since the last time I went to the movies, and the last time I went to the movies was to see the Napoleon movie, which is almost 2 years ago. But when I was in there watching this movie, there were two people behind me who were talking the whole way through it. There was a chick sitting over there who was on her phone the whole time. There was someone else scrunching popcorn. Now, I sound like a grumpy old man who is irritated by everything. But it seems to me that there were people who were able to behave themselves in a movie theater. You're not there in your house, right? I think what's happened is that people are so used to seeing things on here, and they are so used to having things served to them in their house that they've forgotten how to behave in public.
Yeah.
So first of all, you can see yesterday I went to the local supermarket shop to go and buy some groceries. A chick walked out of there. Now listen, I wasn't wearing a suit, so I'm not going to say you must dress immaculately every time you go to the shops. But this girl walked out with a hairnet on, slippers, a dressing gown, and tracksuit pants. And I thought, the people like that are ruining being out in public. They're making it impossible. They've already ruined flying. Flying is absolutely awful. It is abominable. It doesn't matter which airline, doesn't matter if you fly economy or business class, doesn't matter what your destination is. People dress like slobs. They behave like slobs. They shout at each other. They talk in cinemas. They've made shopping impossible. I know I could be at fault. I could be the grumpiest person in the world. But all of these people are making every experience that it's possible to have unpleasant.
It just
restaurants, same thing.
Yes, it feels like it wasn't like that before.
People used to just have a standard of behavior.
Yeah.
You just had a way of conducting yourself in public that made it pleasant for the other people around you to be around you.
There was self-awareness and spatial awareness and just awareness that you are sharing space with other people.
Well, let's ask the millennial stroke Gen Zs. I mean, Flex, James, do you guys think that I'm being a grumpy old man? Or are people just behaving like wild animals? Can people hear you while you're talking? Yeah, just basic social etiquette. Like I almost think we should reinforce at a school level, because they're certainly not learning maths or language. I mean, kids are coming out of South African schools. Did you see Musi Maimane this week tried to get the pass mark elevated to 50%? He failed dismally, but it was a noble attempt by him.
Where is it sitting? 40?
30.
Oh, my gosh.
You pass on 30%. That means you don't know 70% of the stuff.
That's just wrong.
You don't know 70% and you can still get a pass. This is the country of underachievers. Anyway, Musi Maimane tried to do this thing. I wonder if kids aren't learning maths and science and language and logic at schools, whether we can't at least teach them manners. I don't think it's too much to ask. You know, good manners are the most extraordinary social elevation tool. If you eat properly, if you know how to conduct yourself in public, if you know how to behave with regard to money and greeting people and everything else, I think you will have a much happier life. People generally will find you happy and pleasant to be around.
Yeah. And also extending beyond that, in traffic.
Oh.
In the office.
My God.
Like being in the office, you can't do what you do at home and throw temper tantrums and things like that.
James, Carl DeSantos says they can never hear you or Flex. It's very annoying. Didn't we have a microphone installed so that you guys could talk?
My mic is literally on.
Okay, well.
Also, can I chime in on something? Can I say something?
Can you what?
Can I chime in?
Yes.
So I went to a school where they were really heavy on not beating manners into you, but like manners was a big part of the everyday thing. Like you'd walk past a teacher or
You said
or
hello,
or
sir, or
parent,
hello,
whatever.
ma'am.
Exactly, 100%. Morning, sir, whatever. I think you might be right in saying that it's like the way society has moved, because I don't think those are taught these days to
People are not.
to kids.
They're just
particularly.
not learning how to conduct themselves. And really, like if you go to the shops in your dressing gown, I don't think you should be allowed in the shops. They should have someone. They do at most of the stores. They have someone at the door, right? And that person should say, "I'm sorry, not you." You know, they were preventing us from going in during COVID if we weren't wearing masks. So they can stand there and they can say to people, "Just go home, put on some clothes. This is not your back garden.
Yes.
Tidy yourself up." And if you're on a plane and you are wearing your night clothes, you should not be allowed on the plane.
Or if you're barefoot, taking your shoes off and things like that.
The smallest thing is like answering a call.
Yes. In a
Answering
shopping
call-
queue.
when you're around other people and talking loud or putting the other person on speaker.
Taking private calls in the office.
Guys, this is not me being pedantic. I hope it isn't. I mean, you'll tell me if I'm wrong. Here someone says, for example, take a chill pill, Gareth. Just fucking relax.
Something we speak about in the office is how people greet as well. Like, how do you guys feel when people send you a WhatsApp or whatever, but they leave out the hey, how are you, or the hi?
If someone
leave out
just
the
gets
morning.
straight to business.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Less of an issue.
I think it depends on what relationship you have with that person.
No, if someone greets you, I mean, generally that's good manners. So I would normally be in favor. But if there's a work thing and it's an instruction, or you need to do something, or I need to do something, then just get to the point.
Yeah,
I
some
need
of it
to, "Hi,
irritates
how are
me.
you?
I don't.
How's your aunt?
The email
How's
thing.
her appendicitis? Did you get her out of hospital in time on Wednesday?"
No, the
Yeah.
email thing with hi, hope you're well.
Oh, please. Or I hope my email finds you well. No one wants to read that shit.
And then I feel bad responding and going, "Hi, John, all good, sorted."
Yeah, well, I sometimes type up my response, which is, "Yeah, I'll have that to you by tomorrow." And then I suddenly realize, no, you can't say, "Hi, whatever." And then yours, Gareth, whatever. I do add that stuff afterwards just because I couldn't deal with someone. I find it very, very uncomfortable I let myself down. It's not about letting other people down. I don't want to be, I can be rude in terms of my opinions, but in real life, I'm not a rude person. I open the door for a woman. I make sure that
You wait your turn in
I
traffic.
greet everybody. I'm very good in queues. I mean, it drives me up the wall, but I mostly follow the rules in terms of social niceties. I think it's a good thing to do. You know, if we all live in close proximity to each other, we have to have certain rules so that it is not ungovernable and completely chaotic, anarchic.
It's also behavioral stuff. So, like I said, throwing temper tantrums. That type of stuff should be unacceptable. So the other day in traffic, I was making a right turn.
Yeah.
And you know what happens when the oncoming traffic doesn't stop when it's your turn?
Yes.
The traffic lights are now orange. So I'm in a situation where I'm stuck in the middle of everything with a red robot. I'm making a U-turn, so I continue my U-turn.
Mm-hmm.
By that time, the turning arrow for the next person has come on. Does he lose his temper with me?
No.
Starts weaving his big car behind me, slamming on brakes, accelerating, slamming on brakes, hooting. Eventually, he overtakes me. He comes up next to me. He's got his arms out the window, and he's going, "You fucking idiot," like this, at a 60-kilometer-per-hour zone, little robot. He's doing this. In fact, we had to stop immediately because that was the next robot. I smiled at him. I just smiled at him because I was like, I feel so sorry that you're going through this
for
right
a
now.
moment, you became the most important person in his life. You
Cannot
actually
believe
became
how
his
that-
whole focus.
How my little movement affected him so much.
Yeah, it did.
And he saw what had happened. He knew I had no other choice.
Yeah, the other thing is that when you correct people in traffic, they don't want to hear it. They're always right. You can't say to someone, the light was green. They're like, they have to stand up for themselves because they're cornered. And usually if you've seen them doing something wrong or stupid, they're embarrassed. And an embarrassed person is never going to admit, yeah, it was my fault. So I'm sorry, but yeah, temper tantrums also in public. Like if you're a kid, sure. If a kid behaves badly in a...
Even that.
But the kids do sometimes because they're children. But if you're a grown-ass adult and you're behaving like that, that's not acceptable. I can't stand rude people, says TJ. My favorite character was Hannibal Lecter. He only ate rude people. Jody Smith says, Gareth, you said it a while back. The standard has been lowered continuously over the past decades. We need to raise the standard again, and South Africans need to accept responsibility for themselves. Well, basically it all boils down to self-respect. If you don't have any self-respect, of course you don't care about going to the shops in your dressing gown or about munching popcorn and talking loudly and being on your phone in a cinema.
Or walking while shuffling your feet on the floor, not lifting your feet.
Not picking up your feet. Yeah. You have no self-respect. You're obviously a person who regards yourself as being lowly. You don't deserve, you aren't going to measure up to anything anyway, so you behave as if you don't matter. So that's what it is. And I do see a lot of this happening. I got to complain about even the idea of eating out at a restaurant has become, when I was a kid, and I'm sure this is true for you as well, it was a rare thing for us to go out for a meal as a family. It happened every now and then. And it was a major excursion, and we were so excited. And now, mom didn't have to cook, and we were going somewhere cool, and you could order what you wanted on the menu or what your dad told you could have. But it was an exciting outing. It was an event. And I feel like now people, again, by their behavior, seem to indicate that they're either always doing this or that they don't appreciate it when it happens anymore. It used to be that you'd sit quietly at your table, you'd talk in a low voice to whoever you were there with, especially if you were on a date. You weren't sitting there going, ha, 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 and making a big racket. Do you know what I mean? It feels like it's become clumsy and common and everybody's doing it and it's just not special anymore.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm full of shit.
No, I totally agree. And I'm cognizant of the fact that maybe it is because we're older. But I think I felt like this all my life, actually.
Rose Goldwright says, morning, I totally agree with politeness, not wearing slippers to the shops, etc. My husband often tells people when they're in the shops, using their phone and not looking up, you're not in a phone booth. That's going to be me. And I'm telling you, I'm going to be one of those old men who goes around correcting people. Because you wonder if they were ever told this. If someone ever took them aside and said, by the way, the reason we do this is because other people will take you more seriously. You will be treated better by the staff. You will have a more pleasant experience from other customers. Everything will get better. If you have self-respect, then everyone around you respects you more.
I've been in situations in a grocery shop where I've actually got a fright because someone who works there has screamed so loudly next to me to their coworker.
Right.
Or that conversation goes on for so long that my ear starts ringing and hurting at that level.
I think
they work there.
I think people are raised badly by parents who don't give a shit about them. I really, they're like the parents are like, just grow up and get out of the house. I'm not going to teach you anything. What you have to learn, you learn at school. I've got nothing to do with your education or your manners or the way that you're raised or what you think of yourself in the world. Just get out of the house as quickly as you can. I think that's what's happened.
Yeah.
Because you can tell from people's behavior, they don't know better.
Yeah. And if you think about how we grew up, things were strict. All day, things were strict.
Well, as a kid, if you made a noise, you got claps.
There were things like you don't
like
lie
at
on
home
the couch
or
during
at
the
school.
day, close the curtains, watching movies.
Lie on like the lying around in public is also a thing.
Posture.
Well,
things like that.
I saw someone about 3 or 4 weeks ago. I saw someone in the reception of an office building, and she was sitting like this.
Yes. I see it in offices. People like this.
And she's like,
And they're like, click,
"Hi,
click,
can I help
click,
you?"
click.
And you're like, you could help yourself first of all by giving your lumbar vertebra some support. You know, she eventually pulled herself up, and she's like, "Oh, sorry." But she was almost affronted by the fact that I'd commented on that she was lying on her 66th vertebra. She was upset with me. Like I was the bad guy. Like the guy in the traffic with you. You're the bad guy for pointing out that he's behaving like an idiot. I don't know. Teach social etiquette at school. Wendy agrees with me. Bitcoin Butt says, I went off on them for not having respect because he was on a horse ride safari a while back. Had another group with us, so noisy that they scared away the animals. At the end, when I tipped the guide, I had the audacity to say, you're tipping for us too. Okay, yeah. Well, that's another thing, we've spoken about this on the show too. It's getting to Christmas, right? So you're going to have a whole lot of people asking you for money, people you have nothing to do with, people who you've never engaged with in your life who perform absolutely no service of any value to you. And they're going to ask you for money. Like the security guard at someone else's complex that you drive into. And when you go through the boom, they're going to say, why you never give me?
Yes.
And you're going to go, because I don't fucking live here?
But also I want to say to these people asking me for money, I owe more money than you do.
Maybe. Yeah, maybe you do. Maybe you do. The worst I've seen is when they know they're in the wrong, talking loud on their phone, on the train, jam-packed with people, not caring about those around them. It's so annoying and disrespectful, says Mushroom Face. Well, that's a hell of a name, Mushroom Face. So, don't know if you've got Locust Standy to bring your complaint. I tell people off and force shopkeepers to bag my groceries how I want, says Goon. Well, you sound very pleasant. You put those groceries in the bag the way I want. Okay, so I often have this dichotomy. I don't think that the cashier has to smile at you and be nice. It's a shit job. Okay. It's repetitive and boring.
So you don't mind if they're grumpy?
I'm not looking for a new friend. So when I get to the counter and she's got to scan the stuff or he's got to scan the stuff and put it in the bags, that's not a great job. I don't mind if he's not like, hi, how are you this morning? Because it's cuck.
I'd actually prefer it. I don't like the hi, how are you this morning?
See, this is the problem, is everybody also has different things that they want. We spoke about the hairdresser earlier. I went for a haircut at the Algerian barber. He didn't say a word to me. Can't even speak English. I fucking loved it. And a lot of people will go to the hairdresser and they're there to talk. You know, so it depends from person to person. We have to allow for people to be themselves. But I do think basic manners. Like if you come up, as I do, you go up to the counter to pay for your groceries, and I go, hi, how are you? You don't carry on talking to the person on the other counter and ignore me completely. That's just rude. But I don't need you to like have a chat to me and ask me how my day was or smile like a mongoloid because you're ringing up stuff. I'm not that interested. I'm being polite first, so the only thing you have to do is respond in like, and then we can move on.
Do you sometimes, if you have a choice of where to go to, if you're just picking something up on the way home, will you choose a place where you don't have to interact with a car guard?
Oh, yeah.
I find myself doing that a lot.
Oh, yeah. But I have become mercenary with car guards. Like, I just say to them straight up, I don't have anything for you.
I don't carry cash anymore.
Well, that's true. So I don't.
When I did, I would
say to them when I leave the car, in other words, when I'm going into the shop, I go, I got nothing for you. So you don't have to worry about my car. If it gets stolen, it gets stolen.
Like I find myself with the car guards that I know and like and have a relationship with because of many, many years. That because I don't have cash, I end up buying them something like a packet of crisps or a cold drink.
That's nice of you.
Something like that.
Okay.
And petrol attendants, also difficult to tip if you don't have cash anymore. You have to go inside and.
Where do you? This is a good question. Just generally, maybe we could put up a poll about this. Like, where do you still need cash in the day-to-day stuff that you do? Where sometimes for parking machines. James Flex, when did you last use cash? I'm trying to think if I used cash this week.
I had to draw 600 Rand cash to pay somebody who helped us for a day at a moving in scenario.
Okay. So there's actual cash involved. When last did you use cash, James? Parking, right. Flex, you? A month ago when he cut his hair. There we go. You see, so we're using it less and less. I had a 5 Rand coin that sat in my car for like 2 weeks, and then eventually I did give it to a car guard just because it was there. And I was so unused to seeing money, and it was rattling around in the car. So I was like, okay, well, I've got a 5 Rand. Who knew? But I don't keep cash anymore. I used to always have cash around.
But it does worry me because there are certain times where I want to tip someone, and the only way is cash.
Okay, but I'm apart from car guards, where?
Petrol attendants.
Oh, petrol attendants. Yeah, that could also be a useful place.
Like I want to be able to add that money onto my bill.
Why don't you carry around like those old ladies do?
A little
purse with those clips that
the two little
overlap.
bobbles.
And you put all your coins in there. Yeah, that's a good
like
plan.
gathers at the bottom.
And you can put all the 5 Rands in there.
You can go 10, 20.
And this is for you. It's like they're always giving you, those old ladies that I were talking about.
Yeah.
I always thought they were giving you the biggest, it was like 1,000 Rand to them. I don't know.
Flip, you know who else we tipped? Thinking of the movers. Whenever we have a big moving company come in, we always end up tipping them. It sounds like we move a lot, but I actually have been moving a lot. And then
basically, you're running from the cops.
we usually give 100 Rand to each person who's been there. And my brother and I miscalculated. And so we had to e-wallet the money to someone. So there is an e-wallet option.
Oh, yeah. And you'd be surprised. There's a guy who sells flowers on the corner near my house. And he has these buckets. And he's got all these flowers, the bunches of flowers. And I always feel bad because I'm always passing him on my way to gym. So what's the point of buying flowers? And then when I come back, he's gone. But he's got a card machine. He's got like a Yoko there. And he could do any transaction. Because I once said to him, I'd love to buy your flowers, but I don't have any cash. He's like, don't worry, dude. I got this machine. The poll is up. We've asked, when last did you use cash? I use it all the time, a week ago, a month ago, or it's been years. What is cash? So go and cast your vote. We've got 27 in already in the last 5 seconds. And we want to know what your thoughts are on this. By the way, while we're ranking things and doing polls, Just Plain Jared is our number 1 fan for this week. And I have to congratulate him for reaching the number 1 spot on the show for this week. You too can be a part of this if you just get involved and comment. Like and subscribe, etc. By the way, how's the non-smoking going?
Good. Still haven't touched anything, and I'm not going to.
Excellent.
So it's 2 weeks today. I've got 1 more week of feeling like an ex-smoker as opposed to a non-smoker. So
I'm proud of you.
I must say I've been eating gummy sweets.
Because let me tell you, if you got into your 50s and you were still smoking, there's no way out then. Then you might as well just carry on until you're dead. But this is great because it means you're buying back some time, right?
Yeah, it's done.
How long do they say it takes for your lungs to get better after you've been smoking?
I used to benchmark those things when I used to try to give up smoking with other methods. But I'm not doing that this time.
But do you know? Do you know what it is,
But
though?
I think it was something like a year or something like that. But
because they do actually recover, like the little cilia,
So the cilia start popping up within 2 days of stopping smoking.
Oh wow!
Because your cilia are those little
hairs,
elongated cells that carry particles in and out of your lungs
and catch them.
And when you're a smoker, they kind of curl up and fall asleep.
Right.
So when you stop smoking, they start uncurling, and that's why smokers will often say, "I'm coughing more now that I've stopped smoking." But it's those little cilia that are waking up and irritating your airways. But the thing is with the lung thing, I've had many lung x-rays for issues that I've had where I've been in hospital with pneumonia or whatever. And the doctors are always very surprised about my lungs. They always look good.
Okay, well, who knows? You could come back as, like we said last time, you're going to enter Miss South Africa, aren't you?
I'm
That was
telling
what
you,
we
I'm aging
said.
backwards.
That's what we said. You're going to be like the Benjamin Button of the show.
It's just that one divorce I had, because you're not supposed to have been divorced to be Miss South Africa.
Yeah, well, yeah, you're an old divorcee. They must stop being discriminating. That's what they
Yes.
got to do. Some car guards are now using SnapScan. They even have moved on to that. Chris says, I tip my petrol attendant with a note unless they only do the basics. Yeah, a note. I mean, that's what inflation has done now. A note is the only acceptable tip, which starts at 10 Rand. And you don't even see that many 10 Rand notes around anymore. It won't be long before they take those out of circulation.
I think when we started driving, a 50-cent tip at the petrol station was good.
Yeah. I have honestly not seen a lot of coins in the last couple of months while we're talking about cash and money. Pay small businesses in cash, says Patrick. This is smart because they don't have to pay the leeches at SARS. There we go. Just Plain Jared says, Gareth, please remind James that we can't hear him. Guys, if you've been talking and we've been putting you on the show and the audience can't hear you, there is no point in that. You understand this, right?
My mic is literally unmuted.
Well,
now.
I'll listen back like I did last week to the show. If I don't hear you on the mic,
Oh, there'll be hell.
there will be hell.
My mic is on right now.
It took my dad, says Chris, 7 years to stop the craving. I decided not to try it.
7
Good for you.
years.
7 years.
Oh,
Carl
that doesn't
says
give me much
apparently
hope. I thought I had a week left.
apparently things like taste and smell get better after only a few days.
Yes, but it's weird. I've been picking up the bad smells more.
Like your
I'll
aunt's
be like,
farts.
yes, or I'll walk past a dustbin and be like,
Okay. So you actually are seeing immediate results.
oh, 100%.
Wow.
I don't have to spend 15 minutes in the morning coughing my lungs out just to be able to have a cigarette again. That was the worst.
Now, what are you going to replace that vice with? Which other kind of bad behavior?
So I have replaced it in the meantime with
Compulsive
chewing gum,
scrabbling.
with I carry
chewing gum.
around. I don't need it anymore, but in the first week, I had a comb that I used to run my finger across the bristles, giving my hand something to do.
Oh, is that a thing that works?
It worked for me. No one told me to try it. I just did it. And then I've been eating far too many gummy sweets. The sugar-free kind aren't always available. So that's been bad. But otherwise, no, not too bad.
All right, I'm very excited for you. This is good. And then we've got, today is the first time ever that we've been able to hear this bellend, those bellends in that booth, says Carl. So they can hear you now. Thank God, or you two would have been in such shit. I can't begin to tell you. Such shit.
Mounds and mounds.
So happy about
Massive
that.
cow pats.
Yes. So I'm going to show you two guys. They're the same age. They're both 67 or 68. And you tell me what you think.
Okay.
Here's the first one.
It's Jeremy Clarkson.
Hi, I'm Jeremy Clarkson, the greatest man in the world. And then this one. Simon Cowell. Okay, so I know Simon Cowell is coming for a lot of criticism on this show, and I don't know why he keeps popping up. But honestly, I'd rather look like Clarkson. Go back to Clarkson. I'd rather look like him. Yeah. Right?
I
mean,
think it's a bad comparison.
There's me. There's me.
That's you.
Yeah.
I think
So great.
Clarkson
A friend of mine
against.
sent that to me as because I was saying he invited me to an event that was on at Nasrec last Saturday. Some famous DJ. There was a big party. There was a thing where people were doing that high rock stuff during the day, and there was a whole lot of stuff going on. Anyway, he invited me. I'm like, I'm not going to come. So he said, yeah, old man, and he sent that picture to me.
And
But
did you go?
Wouldn't you rather? No, of course I didn't go.
Oh, I was going to say.
Wouldn't you rather look like Clarkson?
So I think it's a bad comparison because Clarkson is an alcoholic and just generally
Not an
abuses
alcoholic.
his body.
How dare you, of all people, call someone else an alcoholic?
He 1,000% is.
I think most Brits are
Yes.
functional alcoholics. But
Whereas
talk
Simon
about a
Cowell
pottle.
takes time
like
to-
you're calling someone else an alcoholic.
Oh, I mean, it takes one to know one then in that case.
Come on. Of all the people to go start leveling
But he's
that accusation at
abused
others.
his body, whereas Simon Cowell looks after himself. But the plastic surgery is an issue for me. That look.
I think it's not about what they do. It's about what they think of themselves. Like, again, we're down to social cues and how you... I think Clarkson accepts who he is. He's aging gracefully. He said, I'm getting older.
Yeah.
And that's okay. Whereas Simon Cowell is fighting.
And
He's
trying
like,
too
I'm
hard.
not old. I refuse to admit I'm old.
Yes.
And he's looking worse.
Yes.
I think it's in the head.
So that's what it was with the couple, the Dell couple.
Oh, shall we go back to the Dell couple? Let's put them back on.
It's when it's not that she's unattractive, it's that she's made choices to make her face look like that. Like active choices.
I don't think she's so bad. I think that fringe is terrible, but I don't think she's that bad. I've never understood women who have their fringe like that. I don't understand it. I don't know what is it? You're hiding a giant wart?
Well, she's got an elongated face. You can see by the chin. So she's trying to shorten the appearance of her face.
Nah, she's not the most hideous person in the world. I really don't see the big deal. And I think Carl DeSantis has got it in for her. He definitely doesn't like her.
But I think as soon as plastic surgery is involved, you're like, that person purposefully wanted to look like that.
Yeah.
Whereas when somebody's just aging and they've got their jowls and whatever, it's like,
Yeah,
what?
I find it especially sad when like really young people have plastic surgery, unless you have like a revoltingly big nose.
yeah.
And it's
With
like
nostrils that are like this
a
long.
beak. Okay, if you have like a beak and you go, then that's a good thing, because then you have to spend the very difficult 20s and 30s where you're trying to get laid and have fun and meet people, and your beak keeps interrupting every conversation. I understand. That's where you probably want some plastic surgery as a young person. But if you're doing it out of vanity and for no good reason, it's just
Also,
silly.
it's fashionable, you see. So now a lot of the girls who went and had the big,
Well, the lips,
the UK lip fillers.
big.
and
Hello, my darling.
Yes.
Yeah, that kind of
And it's the same. It's going to be the same with the turkey teeth,
right.
the veneers.
Yeah.
The fashion has changed now, and everyone's getting their fillers out from their lips because the more natural look is back in again.
Oh.
But what are you going to do with your turkey teeth? Because you've now got little pins that have been scraped down to little, basically tacks in your mouth.
Oh, that's terrible. Has the Brazilian butt lift stayed, or is that going to go as well?
People have been taking them out.
Oh.
Dangerous, most life-threatening surgery that you can have.
Really?
Yes.
Really? A BBL?
Yes, highest death rate from BBLs.
Is that because the surgeons doing them are just cuck?
No, it's got something
How
to
is
do
it
with
dangerous? It's your
the
ass.
biggest area, the biggest muscle that you're messing with, or what they
Really?
put in there.
I would never have guessed that.
Yeah.
You're teaching me things. Good heavens. I thought a BBL would be just a thing that they
No,
they
who those
just
two
pump up
guys?
you.
What's that show? They've been around for years. Those two plastic surgeons in Hollywood.
So that's the most...
They are. That's where I learnt it from. Dead against BBLs.
Wow, okay. Color pays me in cash, says Bitcoin But. Well, you guys have your own arrangements, and I'm happy for that. Pete Swagger says, Clarkson looks his age. Simon looks like a 60-year-old man in his 30s. Botched is the show?
Botched.
Right, okay.
Thank you.
I'm 70, says Chris, and I don't care a shit what people think of me. I live and let live. Well done to you. That's exactly how you should be. Is that woman Marilyn Manson's sister? Referring to Susan Dell.
Yes.
Can I tell you who you should look up? This is not my friend who has the ugly wife, but Chuck Schumer, who's the senator for New York, I think. I think he's the leader of the Democrats in the Senate. Find a picture of Chuck Schumer's wife. We do like having very, very pretty and very, very ugly people on the show all the time, right? Because it's something you can't really do anything about. It's just a fact. One day we may be able to genetically engineer our children to be amazing looking all the time.
Yeah.
But
again, to whose standards?
Yeah, if you're born ugly, you're just. I was
just.
I've
seeing,
accepted like Clarkson and like Chris in the comments. I've just accepted what I look like. I'm okay with it.
You know, in Western cultures, when it comes to makeup,
yes,
it's a big thing to put loads of concealer under your eyes
Yeah.
and hide everything. Whereas in Eastern cultures, right now, it's a thing to use like a pink shadow and highlight the bags under your eyes.
so that it looks like you work very hard.
So it
You don't get enough
makes you
sleep.
appear more like cute.
Oh, okay.
It's like that, the Chinese concept of cuteness and the
Okay.
Korean concept of cuteness.
Okay.
Word for it.
Well, I don't think it's cute to have big bags under your eyes.
No, it's just these like little cute, puffy.
Oh,
So yeah, it depends again if we're going to bioengineer our children, to whose standards, you always have to say. To whose beauty standards.
what do you think is the worst problem to have? I'm going to give you a list, okay? A 5-head.
Yes.
In other words, your hair starts here. A giant beak of a nose. Crooked teeth. Or, if you're a woman, a moustache. Which one's the worst? Rank them from worst to best.
As a woman. I'd say as a woman, the hardest to correct is the 5-head. But the rest you can correct easily.
You can?
Yeah.
The teeth, you can do
Laser,
that now, yeah. Yeah.
teeth.
And the beak.
The beak you can have operated on. But the hairline can be difficult.
Have you found Chuck Schumer's wife? Jesus. and that's her dressed up, okay?
But again, I don't think she's much worse off than he is.
Well, he's not great, but I mean, I'm not looking at him because
I mean, look at his 5-head.
No, sure. But he just looks like any old
Are
guy.
her eyes open?
I don't know. Find another picture. There's more. There's something about her.
I mean, she's quite cute.
No, I don't think so. Jesus. Okay, no, look. Tell me what's wrong there.
Okay, there's
Something's
something
wrong,
not
right?
Great.
Look at that. You found a collage, James. You actually found a collage. What is her name? Iris Winshaw.
Winshaw.
Wow.
Surely those ones around her are her brothers.
No, those are her. That's all her.
No, not great.
Yeah.
Shame.
Yeah. And Slippery Pickle says, is that Amy Schumer? No, Amy Schumer is even worse, if you could believe it.
Didn't she say she's lost weight now or something?
She's trying, yeah. She's trying. Have you seen what Kelly Osbourne looks like now? She looks fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think so.
You know, again, we've been over this territory a million times and nothing's going to change. Some people are just amazing and look better with money and whatever else they do to themselves. And some people just look worse.
Yeah. There's the new way of plastic surgery now that's all the rage in Hollywood.
So Slippery Pickle says, all in Chinese culture, they used to have silver fingernails to scoop up bags from under your Nigerian. Wow. That's not stereotypical at all, Slippery Pickle. I'm not even sure I entirely understand what you mean. Then people saying that they would prefer to age gracefully than to try and stay young. I mean, Madonna's always trying to look young, right?
Yeah, but
And she
not
should
gracefully at all.
No, but she's aging disgracefully.
Yes.
But I think that there's something charming about someone who allows themselves to go a little gray and wrinkly, and they become wise and they're less interested, like Chris said, about what other people think of them. That's kind of nice.
You just get the feeling that they're not insecure, which is great.
Yeah. I don't want insecure people around me. Not everybody's decision. Some people want the insecure people around them. It's like some people want to watch true crime. And I am not interested in that at all. My reason for not being interested in it, by the way, is the world is full of actually terrible things that might occasionally enter your own world. I don't need to see the terrible things that people who have nothing to do with in my life are doing.
No, that makes sense. And I mean, there have been moments in my life where I've had to visit family members in hospital over
Sure.
an extended period of time. And at those times, I can't watch the medical dramas where people are being resuscitated.
No, I mean, especially if you know the next day you're going to see your aunt's asshole
stretched again. And the GP asked me for my aunt's medical history. And in our family, we've always referred it to as when she had her asshole stretched. And I couldn't remember the proper terminology for it. And I stumbled. I said, she's had an operation recently where her anus was enlarged.
All right, I'm sorry I even brought this back up. We'd moved on.
And I thought that sounded much worse.
This is an interesting fact, or is it? And someone told me about this a while ago. The BBLs actually stink.
Yes, they start leaking and they stink. Very bad smell.
That's appalling. Why would anyone do that to themselves?
Kardashians, they started it.
Yeah, but why? Why would you want to emulate the Kardashians? I ask you with tears in my eyes. That is not a good role model for anyone.
I can't answer it because...
And a stinky BBL, ugh.
Yeah, it's the stuff they put in there, like starts festering and rotting.
Does anyone in the comments section, anyone who's watching or listening, anyone have personal experience of smelling a stinky BBL? Because I only need one person to witness this and I'll believe it. But I need someone who I can trust in the comments.
And it's definitely true. I mean, I've seen the shows. Yes.
And they talk about it. The doctors talk about it?
Yes, 100%. It's a thing.
I got to ask some doctors. If that's true, that's frightening.
I feel like
Stinky
you should be watching
BBLs.
Botched.
No. I don't think I want to watch those shows. I can't even watch those pimple popper things. It's too revolting. It's too revolting. Judas says, you can only correct yourself if you have money and you know how to use it. And then some people need a full face transplant. Go to Turkey. Those surgeons do some amazing transformations on Instagram. Yeah, but I wouldn't trust everything you see on social media either, Judas. Sorry, what's a BBL, says Chris? Well, it's when a Brazilian butt lift is what they call it. It's where you've probably seen those girls who are wider at their sides than they are tall.
Well, also the back. I mean, you can...
It goes like that, and then boom, you got a big gadonk.
Yeah, not necessary so much in this country. We've got very good genetics when it comes to wanting a bigger butt.
Sure.
But
in America, this is all the rage.
Yeah, it's so the smell that you can have is due to factors like fluid drainage, sweat, and difficulty with hygiene.
That's revolting.
Causes include bacterial overgrowth from moisture, poor hygiene after using the bathroom because you can't get into...
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
All right.
And then sweat accumulation.
Ugh. A swass.
But it's also from the contents leaking.
Oh, my God. All right. Well, you know what? On that high note, let me get to our guest for the morning.
Okay.
I want you to meet him too. This is Gareth Soma. So I was on Instagram the other day and this video popped up and it's this dude who is jacked as fuck and he's like full of motivation and he's talking about property and about getting your attitude right and being able to sell. And I found myself going down the rabbit hole and I thought we got to get him on the show. So he is Gareth Soma, leading South African real estate professional, founder of Allegiance Properties, Soma. Known for his strong presence in the Gauteng property market, he's built a reputation as a top-performing agent and a mentor who coaches others in the industry. He's upside down? He really does have enormous powers. Look at that. Fucking hell, the guy was out, now he's on his side. Are you walking on the walls? Just rotate it once more. Do a 90-degree rotation. There we go. Now we're perfect. All right, thank you. Okay. James doesn't seem to be able to offer. There we go. How are you?
Good in you, Gareth, the man, the myth, the legend. It's an honor and privilege to be on the show.
Thanks, bro. Nice to see you. We've never met before, but I saw some of your stuff on the internet the other day, and I thought I actually got to get into this guy's head, figure out what he's all about, because you seem to be one of those tremendously positive people who now has decided it's not enough to just be positive in your life, but you can pass this on to other people. So tell me a bit about you. Where are you from?
Absolutely, Gareth. So originally born and bred in Johannesburg, and
the South.
Currently now Joburg side, the deep
There we go. Good.
And for the last 2 years residing in Cape Town, the Atlantic seaboard of the Western Cape. And holistically, things are going really, really well. I've really obtained an obsession with wanting to add value. I feel there's a lot of leaders out there at the moment that are adding the kind of value that's needed to, the youth and to people that really want to come up in
Jesus.
the world of business.
What the fuck happened?
There you go. We're good.
Yeah, it's all right. What happened there?
Gareth, I don't believe there's leaders out there right now that are wanting to add the kind of value that is needed to the youth and people wanting to come up into the business world. And I'm really obsessed right now with wanting to build leaders, build closers, build legends, really just lead people and guide them, and not only transactional success but lifestyle success. How to lead your family, how to lead and establish a relationship with
but
God.
what? So you've been selling property, and you're now branching out into this as well. I don't think anything you've said, by the way, is wrong. I do think we have a huge problem with, people don't know. They're lost. They want to be shown the way. They love seeing other people who've been successful, and they want to emulate those people. So how did you jump out of just selling property, which, let's face it, there are a lot of people who are trying to do that. Some are very good. Some are quite shit at it. How do you go from that into what you're doing now?
So, Gareth, for the last 23 years, I've actually led a team. So, as you know, my real estate company, Allegiance Property Soma, I've led agents not only as me listing and selling property, but I actually have a sales team that I've led for the past 23 years. And over the past 23 years, there's a lot that I've identified that is wrong with how principals, mentors, owners of real estate companies guide their team, lead their team. And I do believe it's important to lead by example. And I felt there was a gap in that market, and I really want to close that void and just really close that gap and add that kind of value. Okay,
so let's just talk about the property world for a moment, because I've seen some of these shows, and we joked about it on the show the other day. These shows where you've got these really beautiful women who walk around and they're like, I don't know if they're OnlyFans girls or whatever, but they are on these shows in America selling these amazing properties. Selling sunsets, right. So you got these. Do we have that in South Africa? Are there people in property who just get a girl with big tits and they put her in a house and then they sell the house because the girl has big tits and the guy who's buying the house isn't really interested in the house? He just wants to shut his wife up and he's looking at the girl with the big tits. Is it that easy?
It's not that easy. So I think looking at the part is one thing. But I think really conducting yourself with high standards, raising the bar, and real estate and sales is art. It's a technique, it's a skill, and that really needs to be not honed and mastered, but you really need to be trained as an agent. So the glitz and glam is one thing because you look the part, but talking the talk is just as you really need to be able to walk the walk, and that comes with very, very good training and laying a good foundation for your agents and for your team.
Yeah, but property, it does seem like property has been infested with a lot of hustlers because you're dealing with a high value asset. So this is probably the most valuable thing most people will ever own is their house, right? And so they're very picky about what kind of a house they want. Obviously, you get different levels of this. So there are going to be people who are buying multi-million rand houses, particularly on the Atlantic seaboard where you are. And then you're going to get people who are just trying to scrape together enough to have their first apartment. And, for both of them, it could be the most important buying decision they ever make. What gets it across the line? What do you find is the most valuable tactic to use to get people to make that decision?
So, Gareth, I think people need to be really informed and educated on dealing with the correct people. And what I mean by that is agents in the industry that are experienced, that are well-trained, that come with that level of knowledge, that come with that level of expertise, especially at the high level. And I think as agents set the standard for themselves. So if there's an agent that's dealing in a lower-end market that is just living transaction to transaction, that's the kind of standard that they've set for themselves. But when you're dealing in the high-end market, buyers and sellers, a combination of buyers and sellers really need to really be thorough with how they employ and appoint an agent. And that needs to be based on experience in the market, your success rate, your record, your resume in the market. So it comes with knowledge and experience. And you can't buy that. It's really got to be earned through the work over the years.
And what about the people who are buying those properties? Like, how about the people who are selling them, the people who are the owners of these properties and are trying to offload them for some reason? Maybe they just have lived there long enough. They've moved. They found something better. Who knows? I mean, you're dealing with high-end people on that side too, especially in the markets that you're involved in. These people obviously know people in the buying market too. So sometimes you're just there to facilitate it, frankly, because they've already got someone who's interested. They're like, "Will you do the deal for me? Get the conveyances, all that shit, and we'll do the deal."
Correct, absolutely. But the mindset with high-end sellers is my price is my price, and they're not willing to entertain the process that needs to be facilitated, and that's where an agent comes in with experience. So a high-end transaction is not going to get secured and get pushed over the line in a day. It takes weeks, sometimes even months, and there's got to be a level of patience, and that comes with experience. So you are correct in what you're saying, Gareth, that network of clientele at that level, no buyers, no high-end businessmen, but they don't have the patience to endure the actual process of the negotiation. Their price is their price. If they don't get their price, they aren't interested in hearing the discussion. And that's where us agents come in.
What's the most expensive property you've sold?
So the most expensive property I've sold was either the month of March or April this year in Camps Bay, selling value of just under 69 million rand.
Yo, yes, that's amazing. And the guy
between the 1st of March and the end of April, single-handedly, I did 165 million rand to the totals, the value of total sales transactions.
Oh wow! Okay, well that's very impressive. What do you think makes a good seller? A person who can do the sales. What makes someone a great salesperson? Because someone who can sell property can probably sell ice to an Eskimo, can probably sell sweets, can probably sell cigarettes, can sell almost anything. What is it that makes someone a really great salesperson, in your opinion?
Transparency, authenticity, and honesty.
Yeah, and maybe big tits.
There is currently on.
That's going to get the buyer's attention, but it's not going to get the deal over the line.
Yeah. Well, you know how to sell to me.
Currently on Winnie Mandela Drive.
Yeah.
If you're heading towards Hyde Park.
Yeah.
There is an estate agent board up, a big, photograph of her once or twice. And I'm just like, that's an OnlyFans girl.
Oh, really?
100%.
Oh, wow. But Gareth, maybe you can explain to me. I mean, you've been in the property business for a long time, but there do seem to be an influx of these people who are. I don't know if they get a kick out of just being on posters or whatever, but I don't know if they're serious real estate people. They seem to be like, this is like become a place people go into real estate when they don't know what else to do.
Absolutely, and it's not a good reflection on agents, but the market is definitely saturated with more quantity than quality. And what I can say to you is, yes, real estate is not rocket science. However, if the work is done correctly, in other words, the day-to-day activities on a level of consistent discipline, day in, day out, you master your skills, you hone your skills, you learn how to connect with clients, not speak to clients, not speak at clients, but train the correct way. That's what makes a really, really good real estate agent. And to be honest with you, Gareth, it's not really difficult, but the kind of work ethic and the day-to-day activities aren't the most enjoyable, but you've really got to understand, or agents need to understand that those are the day-to-days, and that's what separates great agents from average agents, is doing those day-to-days effectively and thoroughly.
You obviously, maybe just because it's a Joburg thing, who knows, but you obviously present yourself well too. Cape Townians tend to be like lazy and generally not give a shit. But I mean, you go to gym, you have your hair cut, you obviously take care of yourself too. So there's an image part of this business, right? and you're presenting often very nice houses, so you can't look like shit. Leigh-Ann and I were talking earlier about how people are going to the shops in their dressing gowns these days. They don't dress properly. They don't know how to behave in public. They answer their phone. They talk loud in public, all that kind of thing. Yeah, you have this like general way to present yourself that also comes into this, and I'm sure that's part of your mentoring and coaching and motivational stuff too, is getting people to stop being fucking slobs.
Absolutely, Gareth. Self-presentation is everything. And I think where the market is shifting now to social media, unfortunately, can be very manipulative, can be very deceiving, and can be very deceptive. And sometimes what you see on social media is not a direct, transparent display or reflection of the person themselves. So it's very important how you put yourself out there, how you present yourself, how you portray yourself, and how you conduct yourself with clients. And that's why I mentioned earlier, honesty, transparency, and authenticity. Those are the traits that are really going to get you far in the industry.
I like that. I like that a lot. What are the big warning signs for you when you see a client? They pretend to be interested in a property, but you know they don't have the money. How can you tell straight away?
Or they're from down the street and they've been wanting to see inside the house for ages.
Yeah, how about that? Can you tell?
Absolutely. So, yeah, you can. And the thing is, I was actually thinking about it a bit earlier, is, your gut and your intuition and your inner voice over time, with experience, it really matures, and you know how to listen to it, you know how to connect with it, you know how to communicate with it. And it's not really from a judgmental perspective, but more from an assessment perspective, and your gut and your intuition and your inner voice speaks to you, and most of the time it's right. So we are able to identify time wasters and serious clients, but at the same time, you can't judge a book by its cover.
Yeah, you can see who the serious buyers are. All right, I'm going to ask you to do something for us. I saw some of your videos of where you're motivating people and you're telling them how to get their head out of their backside and get their attitude right and start making money. So I want you to do this for Leigh-Ann. I want you to talk directly to her and just motivate her. She's made a couple of really impressive decisions in the last while. She's given up smoking. She's decided to lose some weight, but give her the motivation she really needs. Leigh-Ann,
okay.
I'm handing you over to Gareth Soma. Here's what you need.
Right.
Leigh-Ann, so tell me, what mission are you on at the moment? Where are you in life? What is your current situation? What are your circumstances? What are your goals? We need to identify that first before we can add any kind of value or inspiration.
Yeah, tell him, Leigh-Ann. Come on.
I think it's just a shift from wanting to sit at the bottom of the pool to having a bit more zest for life.
Oh, so it's baby steps. Okay. Baby steps. All right. What do you make of that, Gareth? Help her.
So what I make of that is I can identify that Leigh-Ann set standards for herself and she's raised the bar. From what I'm understanding is, Leigh-Ann, you not really want to live in that space of mediocrity, and you really want to start elevating and ascending. And I think that is decision making. Yeah. You've decided to get yourself out of your current situation and move over to new levels, and that's part of the decision making process. So if I'm correct in reading this and understanding this, is you're separating yourself from mediocrity.
Yeah, she is. She's always been terribly mediocre, so now she's going to be better.
Horribly, in the middle, so I just need to be a bit better.
No, but Gareth, you know what the other thing is? She's also from the South.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So I know my price is my price.
But Leigh-Ann, I think the great thing about that, is you've identified where the problematic points are, and you've already taken action. I think the biggest thing with people that find themselves stuck in the mud with their wheels spinning is they can't identify the issue. So props to you, and hats off for identifying the issue and taking action. Another thing that a lot of people can't do right now is take action and execute because of procrastination. So it seems as though you've gotten yourself out of a state of procrastination. You're now actioning and executing, and that alone is one step in the right direction. So hats off to you and respect.
So, Gareth, I think this is, you know what, dude? I mean, I think it's awesome that there are more and more people who are starting to help other people, who want to see other people succeed, who want to pass on their skills and their, as you call it, your intuition, authenticity, all that stuff. I think it's awesome, and I love it. There are lots of people in the comments here who are big fans of yours too. I see King Craig, and I see Harvell, and I see a whole bunch of other people too. So I think this is awesome, and that's why I wanted to have you on. Keep doing the good work, dude.
Great stuff, Gareth. Thank you so much.
Phenomenal.
Appreciate being on the show.
And talk to me about those girls who's selling property with the big tits. That's another thing we need to talk about.
Well, Gareth, look, I don't really look. I mean, I am.
Oh, sure. Okay, yeah. You don't look. What are you, blind?
Gareth,
Did they put out your eyes? Yeah.
But on a parting note, Gareth, on a serious parting note, I think it's so important for a person to make a decision on how they want to live their life. And, having a connection with God and having a very deep level of faith. You try your best to start living a righteous life as best as possible. We're not perfect. We make mistakes. Everybody's a sinner. But that is a step in the right direction. So I think that righteousness is so important, and leading and living a life of righteousness is the right way to go. So I don't look at the woman with the big tit there.
Okay, no, fair enough. But what does that mean for you, living that life of righteousness? I mean, I was going to say goodbye, but you've actually just got me thinking now. What does that mean? Because you hold yourself then to a higher standard. What's your overall value system? I'm curious about this now since you brought it up.
Absolutely. So overall value systems are your morals, your values, operating with a deep level of empathy, operating with humility, compassion, empathy, leaving ego at the door, not being stubborn, putting your pride in your pocket, being understanding, being patient. I think in the business world today, it's all monetary value, but situations and circumstances happen to people, life happens, and you've got to be a little bit more understanding towards that. So I think if you start living with those core morals and values, it puts you in a good space rather than being under attack. You're able to make clear, conscious decisions that benefit you, not only transactional success, but lifestyle success. And for me, I found living in that state, as opposed to the opposite, is so much better, it's so much clearer, it gives you clarity, it gives you purpose, and you're able to identify yourself. The problem that I'm noticing with a lot of agents in the industry are twofold. Number one, they don't have purpose, or number two, somewhere on their journey, they lose their identity. And that's very scary.
Yeah, I mean, you know what? There may be people who are doing things differently, but one thing I could say for you is you're very authentic. You're very you. There's no one else who's selling property that's doing it like you. What do you think of Cape Townians? Do you think that they're different to Joburg people? How have you acclimatized to living down there with them?
I haven't had a problem with Cape Townians. I think they're amazing people. I think that there's a stigma attached to them from Joburg people. And my experience with them, especially clients, very down to earth. I'll tell you a quick story. I secured a rental transaction on a very, very prominent and prime location on the Atlantic seaboard. So I had an appointment set up to go meet with this client to bring his property to the market. I arrived at the property. I mean, it's a monstrosity of a property. Knocked on the door, and the gentleman opened, and he introduced himself as the homeowner, as the seller.
Yeah.
And my first thought was, this can never be the seller. I mean, this gent doesn't look anything like a seller on this kind of level for this kind of property. And when I sat down with this guy, what I realized is he's down to earth, he's humble, he has not let success get to his head. And you know what? We did an amazing transaction, 400,000 Rand a month for a 12-month period. And what I learned is not judging a book by its cover, but not forgetting where you come from, being down to earth, staying humble, staying grounded, staying anchored, and treat people with respect. Treat people with respect.
Yeah, I love that. I think that's a good lesson for all of us. What do you think the Cape Town property market is going to do over the next few years? Because every time I'm down there, it's harder and harder to get accommodation. There's never enough. People are improving properties and rebuilding and blowing up old buildings and starting new ones. And the place just seems to be development after development after development. There's just not enough.
Absolutely. So, I mean, besides the return on investment, Gareth, if you look as far back as from 2015 up until now, I stand to be corrected. I haven't done my homework most recently, but I think it's been between 6 to 8% growth every year from 2015 up until now. It's not showing any signs of slowing down. The infrastructure here is amazing. It works. It's an international destination. I mean, it's really lifestyle orientated, family orientated. It's a beautiful place, Gareth. But to answer your question, I don't see the property market slowing down anytime soon in terms of activity as well as pricing.
I think that's exactly right. And I know people who are thinking about investing in property, I know there's a lot of this already. Maybe the market's a bit saturated, but if you're going to buy investment property in South Africa, it's probably better to buy in Cape Town than anywhere else, right? What's happening to the Joburg? What's happening to the Joburg property market?
Joburg property market is still very lucrative and opportunistic. That's where our head office is. It's been there for the past 23 years. What I can say to you right now, Gareth, about the Johannesburg market, prices have stabilized, which is not a bad thing. There's some awesome transactions that have been done. There's awesome investments. There's some great value properties. So still a great place to invest and a good place to start out your investment portfolio as a buyer.
You got to start somewhere.
A really good place to start out your investment portfolio.
All right, and one last thing, because now I keep thinking of new things I want to ask you. I hear a lot of talk from Gen Z and younger millennials that they don't want to own property because it's too expensive. They don't earn enough. Getting on the property ladder is impossible for them. They'd rather rent. You even hear about them renting furniture and clothes because they don't want to own anything. What would you say to that? And would you recommend to young people that they get in there as early as they can?
From a buying perspective or a renting perspective? Gareth?
No, buying.
From a buying perspective, I think the only reason why, a decision would be made to rent as opposed to buy, especially for the younger generation right now, is it gives them options. They can pack up and leave as soon as they need to. But I mean, to give yourself some kind of stability, grow an investment portfolio and get a good return on your assets, on your liquid, on your equity, buying is a no-brainer.
Okay. I mean, I had a property. Eventually, being a landlord's a nightmare, right? So something breaks, you have to fix it. Something doesn't work, you have to replace it.
A lot of responsibility.
It's not, yeah. So, I mean, I eventually managed to get rid of it, but it did increase in value over the time that I owned it. So naturally, that's what you're talking about, is you've got to get in there, and then you can start seeing a return on your investments. Here's Rook Shiner Small. I don't even know if that's a name or if it's just made up, but Gareth is one of the best estate agents that I got to know. He's hardworking, honest, and he's a fantastic person. There are a lot of people here who really like you, dude.
Rukhsana, what an amazing person. We did a transaction with herself, and her family are such amazing people. The nice thing about what I do, Gareth, and what I really love doing is I build relationships with my clients to a point where we actually become friends. We communicate on a regular basis. And the problem with real estate agents, majority of real estate agents in the market right now, is they're chasing the money and the transactional success. Gareth, it's about building relationships. Those relationships, there's absolutely no value to it. There's no price to pay for those relationships. So what an amazing woman, an amazing family, building great relationships with individuals. And that's the right way to do business. So.
I love it.
So true. I've bought, because of one property that I bought through a specific estate agent, I just loved her so much, and the way that she worked and her work ethic and the connection that we had, that I sold the property through her and I bought another property through her.
Wow. Well, I mean, you become an important person. You become an important person in someone's life when you're selling them that very expensive asset, and you're introducing them to a place that they're going to live in, maybe for the rest of their lives. I mean, it is quite a responsibility. Yeah.
It's a responsibility, Gareth, but I mean, the relationship is not just signing off an offer to purchase. If you think of it from beginning, inception of relationship to the end, it's literally a 6 to 9 month process. And over that 6 to 9 month process, you have to build a rapport and a relationship with your clients because you are their go-to person. And, you know, I've been in situations where I've dealt, with customer service related issues. And I always say to myself, after a bad experience of service, I never want to make somebody else feel that way. You want to provide the best possible experience and the best level of customer service. And that's what we thrive for as well.
What's the stuff that people are looking for almost across the board? Like, what are the biggest things in a listing that you would mention to try and make the sale? I mean, what are people interested in? Do they want a big TV room? Do they want more bedrooms? Like, what are the things that most people are interested in?
It's dependent on the buyer's needs and requirements, but what I can say to is the main aspects to look out for a buyer to look out for is number one, location, physical features, accommodation, condition of the property, size of the property, finishes of the property. Those are the main criteria for making a good, sound decision for a purchase.
Okay, that's very succinct. All right, dude, it's lovely to see you, and thank you for having a chat to us this morning and for making some time. And good luck. It sounds terrific, and I love the motivation stuff too. As we discussed earlier, we need to get people's heads and their attitudes right, and then they can start being successful like you are. I love it. Thanks, man.
Absolutely. Gareth, much love and respect. Thanks for the opportunity.
What a pleasure. Cool. What a cool guy. Very chill, down-to-earth, lovely guy. Cheers.
So if your price is your price, you know who to contact.
Listen, I know that that's why I put him to the test, to motivate you, you know. If you won't bring Muhammad to the mountain, you're going to bring the mountain to Muhammad. And I was like, well, if he can get you, and he got your attention for a little bit there. You were like, yeah, actually.
He had to be very perceptive given the little bit of information he had to go on.
Well, I mean, you started
off
off with,
goals?
I want to
be alive.
sit at the bottom of a full pool.
I've gone from.
Yeah. Well, I remember you saying that. That was when I was most worried about you. I said, have a drink.
Yeah, probably.
Why don't you just calm down and have a drink? But I do think there are people who need motivation, and some people who don't.
Yeah.
You know, it's amazing to me how things that you might say or I might say or people that I know might say are revelations to some people. But it's just I thought that was an accepted fact. That was just something everybody knew. And the same goes for motivation. Some people have got very low self-confidence for whatever reason. Sometimes it's absolutely not their fault. They were just raised in a way that they didn't have anyone ever tell them they were good enough. And then when they hear it, and they hear from one of these, and listen, there are a dime a dozen on the internet at the moment, these motivational speakers. Some are better than others. But there are people who need it. And there's no point in those of us who don't think we need it. I say don't think because you never really know. But there's no point in us, people who don't think we need it, criticizing those people. They're getting what they need from somewhere. If someone needs more iron in their diet, then you don't say, oh, well, I don't need iron in my diet. That's stupid. Right?
Yeah, but sometimes you have the motivation, but you might not have the resources. So you may not have enough time to...
Tom, please say it. You're from the South.
You might not have enough time.
Right, thank you. Stop hiding your identity, Leigh-Ann. You heard what he said. Start being authentic, for fuck's sake. Stop it. You lie.
So sometimes having a personal assistant or somebody that you can pay to help with the things that you can't get to
or AI
is all you need.
AI, man.
Exactly.
What are you doing this weekend? Anything fun?
I know I started this last weekend, but we're finishing it this weekend, and that's moving my mum into a new apartment, which has been really great because it's freshly renovated to spec.
Nice.
It's, painted. It's one of those things where it's now
everything
become
works.
bespoke. Everything works. It's all clean and fresh.
Excellent. You don't have to go. You don't have to go and every time you visit her, fix a cupboard door or anything.
It's all done. Now it's just a case of moving in. So that's exciting. Moving the little dogs over.
And the big dog is what, your mum? What are we saying
here? Got to move the big dog to,
Yeah, all right.
We actually had to draw her in. My brother did when we were doing the plans. You cut out your little pieces of your furniture and move them around.
Oh, did you do that?
Scale. Yeah, of course, always.
Leigh-Ann, that is so old school. You can get 3D programs now where you can...
Oh, no, it's fun. And also my mum, because that's how she worked she did because she's a builder.
Uh-huh.
So it was fun for her.
So she enjoyed the whole
to,
process.
Yeah.
Okay, got you.
But we actually drew her in her wheelchair with her feet up and where we could best fit her in the lounge.
All right,
so now we've just got to place my mum and then we'll be done.
All right. James, Flex, anything exciting happening this weekend now that your microphone works?
I got birthday celebrations this
Whose
weekend.
Birthday?
My girlfriend.
Oh, it's the girlfriend's birthday. Nice time of year to be born. I like that.
December. She's making me very poor this month because it's a birthday and then Christmas.
Well, that's the one thing about having a girlfriend is that they are expensive. Mm-hmm. So, yes, good luck, James.
Thank you. That's my plans for the
by
weekend.
January. And remember, January, ladies and gentlemen, is not that far away. Everybody always thinks like December, it's this endless thing. By the time you get there and you're like, fuck, I have no money.
But then January is going to be long, as it always is.
Always.
January.
Always is. Flex, anything exciting for the weekend?
No, just gym, I guess.
No Machosha weekend?
No.
We're not doing that this weekend. Okay. Machosha Monday, maybe? Where were you going to do a Machosha? Where is our Machosha that you promised us for a Monday, James?
Guys, I have tried that very Machosha we spoke about. No, wait, that sounded weird. Hang on. I didn't mean that.
That's a nice birthday present for your girlfriend. She finds out that you're trying a Machosha. Okay. Start again.
I have tried to contact that Machosha many
and
times.
She's just not returning your calls.
Always just busy. Is the reason.
You know how low on the food chain you have to be for a Mahosha to refuse your calls?
You know what I'm saying? It doesn't make me
Leigh-Ann,
feel
I
good
think
as a
it's
human,
time for a new
know?
producer.
Okay.
Because when
year,
even
new you.
street Mahoshas won't answer your call, you've got a very bad reputation then. Okay.
Oh boy, look at that.
Oh wow, that's the BBL. But now that I know it smells, I'm really, that's very off-putting. Okay,
right.
quick thing before we wrap it up for this morning, because I thought this might be of interest to some people. Meta has begun removing users under 16 from Instagram, Facebook, and Threads in Australia, because of course they've made a rule.
Yes.
In Australia, the country is enforcing a world-first law requiring major platforms to block underage users by the 10th of December or face hefty fines. Hundreds of thousands of teens will be affected, with Meta saying that their accounts and content will be restored once they turn 16. While Meta insists it will comply, it argues that app stores, not individual platforms, should handle age verification. YouTube has also criticized the ban. They're claiming it may make young users less safe, a concern Australia's communications minister dismissed. What do we think of this?
I did see something ridiculous that there are some of the Australian kids who are protesting because it's against their human rights, etc.
Yeah, it's not. You don't have a human right for this.
Yeah. Having access to social media isn't necessarily a human right.
Definitely
right?
not. It didn't exist before the 90s.
There are other
it's
ways
not a thing.
because the person's argument was, okay, fine, ban unsafe content, ban that sort of thing, but don't ban me from following my favorite news sources. You get your news from other sources.
But you don't have a right to that. So good luck. They're going to lose, just like the Vegemite guy will probably lose.
I've seen unhealthy attitudes develop because of social media from a young age. So I tend to be in agreement with it.
Yeah.
Until your brain has developed in order to handle circumstances differently.
I'm in favor. Listen, again, I'm not a parent. I don't have kids, so I don't have to worry about this. If I were, I would not want my kids on social media before the age of 16.
Yeah.
Certainly, and maybe even later if possible.
As long as possible.
But if you are a parent, I got to say this, and it's judgy as hell, but it needs saying. If you're a parent who allows your kid onto social media under the age of 16, you are doing them a huge disservice. If they are under the age of 13, that's almost abusive, because you're letting them into a world that is just going to do more harm than good.
Mm-hmm.
So, for what it's worth, I'm very seldom in favor of anything that Australians do. Very seldom. In fact, I can't think of the last time I praised an Australian.
With them, yeah.
Maybe the Vegemite guy this morning deserves a little bit of credit because he's a proper Australian, but generally I'm
the woman who
disappointed in them.
announced the banning, she irritated me a lot.
Oh, why?
She was very the typical, like you didn't like Jacinda Ardern.
Oh, like a rules school mom.
Yes.
Right.
She was like, and we're the first in the world to
We're
do
the
this.
first in the world to do this.
And she was just, the way it came across as irritating.
Yeah.
But the principle behind it.
No, I like this.
Agree.
I think this is a good idea. I don't think it's possible in South Africa because we're just too feral. We're too feral. We're not a rules-based society.
Yeah.
It'll never happen. And I don't think that our government has any hope in hell of enforcing anything whatsoever. So that's in some ways a very exciting prospect for me. I like a government that can't get anything done. So I don't think it'll happen here. But it might be a good idea if you're a parent to make that the rule for your kids. Enforce it at that level. Anyway, I don't think that that they're going to get complete compliance from these platforms either, because the platforms want more users, and the earlier they can snag you, the better. And then you become their product because you are an advertiser, and you're a subject for their advertising, right? So they want that. I don't see how they're going to make it easy.
Well, we'll see how it goes. Experiment time. Guinea pigs.
Well, the problem is we'll only know in 10 to 20 years whether it's been good for Australia or not. And by then, who's going to care? Who's even going to remember this?
Yeah.
Let's see. Anyway, have a good weekend, everybody. We will see you on Friday next week. We got 2 more shows till the end of the year, and then it's Christmas and New Year. Thank you, James. Thank you, Flex. Thank you, Ben. Thank you, Leigh-Ann. Most especially, thank you to you. And we will see you on Friday next week. Bye.
Oh, beautiful lady, come here. What's your name?
Sarah, Your Excellency.
And how old are you?
17, Your Excellency.
My, your body has done well for 17 years. Do you like cars? Would you like to be my co-driver?
Oh, yes, but you see, I don't know how to drive.
Doesn't matter. I can tell you have great potential. Moses, get out. You can ride with me next time.
But Daddy...
I need to have got my share as well.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Another episode of the Shady Podcast. My name is The Parcel. You can call me W from Willis.
No way. From Gallo Music.
Yeah. My stance has always been to position South African music next to the world's greats. We found Lucky Dube songs, for instance, because that's one of our artists, right? AI. That are done with AI.
Sure.
And you'll go on Spotify and you're like, how all of a sudden there's a Lucky Dube song and it dropped last week.
My first single was with Double HP, né? And in that studio session we did 3 songs. Né? I've now got the song. What would happen if I go and release it? Because, well, the guy we've got a song, we just never released it.